Bro, good morning, everybody. This is the Saturday morning live. Bro, I was listening to Mark's live yesterday. He had what do you have on there? He had Mini Max, he had L Dog, he had uh Johnny, he had a lot of guys on there. He also had to get the smoke on there. Bruh, I invite any of you to go listen to that live. I was goody. Timmy was goody. Was goody. Timmy was goody. D was goody. David, Jimmy, Jaime, Rob. Yo, I was listening to Mark's live from yesterday, man. I invite any of you to go listen to that joint. Like, if you want to see somebody, if you want to just listen to like some really bullshit circular arguments, listen to that live and listen to Get the Smoke and listen to his mental gymnastics. Because and I'm not, like, I already said that I'm not I said that last year that I'm not wasting any more time on that guy, because I had him on here a couple of times and I'm like yo, the dude is deluded, man. Like, you know, everything is not open to interpretation. Everything is not an argument. Everything is not anecdotal. They actually asked the guy, did he think that Jorge Linares and Bermain Stavern were on an even keel in terms of skill? And he said pretty much yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Like, and it just took me back to when I had him on here on the show when we were talking about what Shelly Finkel said about Deontay Wilder being a baby after 7 years in the pro game and 32, 33 professional fights with a world title. It just brought me back to that day when we were talking about that and how he was basically trying to justify that comment. It's like yo, forget it, man. Like, Batman Russell had a heart attack. I was goody Wayne, was goody Melvin, Flip, Iceman. It was like, yo, dog. Like, I was just listening to that live, and I invite any of you to go listen to it yourselves. And I'm like, yo, dog, like, this dude just argues the stupidest shit. Like, he just argues the dumbest shit. And he thinks, or at least it sounds to me like, it sounds like he thinks that because he can argue this dumb shit with a straight face, that he's actually winning the debate or winning the discussion. I'm like, yo, dog, only person that's buying into that shit you saying is you, because you have to remove a lot of context and you have to ignore a lot of matters of concrete fact in order to arrive to the conclusions that he does. That I'm like, yo, dog, you're ignoring, for example, that Jorge Linares is a 3 division champion. He was a 3 division champion. Okay, that's what his skill level allowed him to do. You know, he had one of the best right hands in the entire lightweight division, like one of the best, most bankable straight right hands that, you know, if he's in a fight, there's a very good chance he's going to land that punch, you know, and he might knock a guy down with it. Bankable stuff. You're ignoring all of that so that he can be on an even keel with Bermain Stavern. And you're only doing that to decorate your favorite heavyweight's resume. It's like, this is childish. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, Lennox was good, man. Yeah, man. Like, I was just like, Jesus Christ, I'm listening to this. I'm like, so you mean to tell me that you view Bermain Stavern as being on an even keel with Jorge Linares in terms of skill? Like, holy crap. Like, you're just like, wow. Like, I don't know. Mark is better than me. I can't talk to somebody like that. Like, I can't. I cannot waste my brain cells talking to somebody like that. I can't do it. Like, nah, dog. Like, I'm not listening to this dumb shit. I was goody Hakeem, was goody Joe Lazizi, Rockstar. Ibrahim. Bro, look. Smarts, right? To your point, Iceman. Smarts and intelligence is really only as valid as its application. You understand that when you can take information and apply it and use it. That's how I measure intelligence. That's how I measure smart. And it's not smart to run around convincing yourself of bullshit just because you can argue it down for hours on end. He's like, who's he like? What's the name of that journeyman? That his claim to fame is going the distance with everybody. Is it? God, what's this fucking guy's name, man? Is it Kingpin Johnson? That's his claim to fame. That he won't win the fight, but he'll go the distance with a guy. He's a good litmus test for a good up and comer to fight with because he's a very hard guy to knock out. I think it's Kingpin Johnson, and that's what I view Get the Smoke as. Kingpin Johnson. They're like, you won't win the debate, but you'll argue for a long fucking time. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are these talking points, man? Like, what are you talking about? Like, bruh. Yeah, Kevin Johnson. Yeah, man. I was just listening to it, and I'm like, I don't know how Mark has the patience or the stomach to converse with somebody who's just like, bro, like, come on now, like, you have to remove all the context out of a situation in order to arrive at the conclusions that you arrive to. You have to ignore a lot of factual information. You have to remove a lot of context. You have to pretend that you have no common sense whatsoever in order to arrive at many of these conclusions. Because I'm like, dog, like, come on now. You don't need to be Bert Sugar to know that Jorge Linares is a more skilled operator than Bermain Stavern. Nothing against Bermain Stavern, but this is not debatable. This is not like something that needs to be, dissected and like, really, bro? Like, so you're only saying that to accommodate your own preferences. And what's annoying about it is when you say this, guys like to deny it. Like, bro, that's all you're doing. You're just trying to accommodate your own preferences by pretending that Jorge Linares and Bermain Stavern are somehow or were somehow on the same level. Like, that's ridiculous, dog. Bermain Stavern was never to the heavyweight division what Jorge Linares was to the lightweight division for a time. For a time, yeah, Jorge Linares was the guy. And at minimum you could say that he was the number 2 guy, I think, behind Mikey Garcia. I don't even know that we could really say that because from what I remember, Jorge Linares was a long-reigning champion. He was a long-reigning champion. Mikey had came back. He fought Dejan Zlatijanin. He won the WBC title, but he was never the Ring Magazine champion. He was never lineal at that weight. He wasn't like it's a lot of people and this is weird because enough conversations happen that I think people should be able to dispel this stuff themselves. Mikey Garcia was a very, very, and still is a very, very accomplished fighter, very skilled operator, quality operator, no doubt about it. But they look at the promotion and the big machine being behind the fighter as opposed to the facts of the matter. And the fact of the matter was Mikey wasn't it at 135. Like, no, he wasn't. He never fought Jorge. He won the title from Dejan Zlatijanin. Cool. And right before he left the division, yeah, he unified with Robert Easter. But that didn't last very long. He won the IBF from Robert Easter. He did it in great fashion, too. I picked him to win the fight. He won the fight. But he didn't have a period where it's like, yeah, this is the guy. Now, Jorge, believe it or not, yeah, he did have that period because he was a long reigning champion. He was the Ring Magazine WBA champion. And a lot of people just conveniently ignore this. Oh, because he went up to 140 and got starched by Pablo Cano. It's so irritating the way they treat the situation. Like, him going up there and getting beat by Pablo Cano is because he's too little for 140 pounds. Not because he's a bad fighter. He's too little for that division. You understand? But they'll he got beat by this journey. Bro, did you see the fight? It's wild to me, man. Let's be honest. Mikey Garcia took a detour. Yeah, I mean, Lennox, can we say he also swore? I mean, I say that he did. You know, that is open to interpretation, admittedly. But if you want my opinion, and you're here, so I'll assume that you do. Yeah, I do believe he swerved Loma. I do. And it's not about justifying or vilifying or any of those things. But look, you had that fight was on the table. That was a hot topic. That was a fight that people were asking for. And you chose to give them something that they weren't asking for because there was no demand for Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Jr. It looks a lot to me like a glorified loss. That, look, if I go up there against Spence, I don't got to win the fight. I could lose that fight. They ain't going to hold it against me because they know I'm not a welterweight. That's what it looked like to me. And that's my son in the background being an irritation. I disagree. He's too little. His chin is too suspect. You guys think that because a guy gets knocked out, that immediately makes his chin suspect? I mean, I don't know. I don't view Jorge as being. I can't say that I view him as being chinny on the level of an Amir Khan. Amir Khan is a fighter who I don't trust to take a clean punch. Jorge, I don't think he takes the best punch, admittedly, but to say that he's chinny, I don't know. I would have to look at that a little closer before I jump to a conclusion like that. Yeah, he has scar tissue. That's always been a drawback. That's always been a drawback with Jorge. And a lot of other fighters, you know, when you got that scar tissue, you cut easy. Hi, Jed, what's good? Jimmy, what's good? Stu? I disagree that he was too, bro, come on. Let's not do this. You saw what he looked like next to Pablo Cano. You saw that. Pablo Cano looked like a goddamn junior middleweight in there next to Jorge. There was a very obvious size difference between those two guys. And anybody can look at Jorge's frame and look at the kind of guys that are at 140 pounds right now, and you can see they're like, bro, you don't belong here. You don't belong here with the Zapatas, the Ivan Baranchiks, the Jose Ramirez's, and the Josh Taylors. You're too little for this division. That was obvious in that fight. Yeah, he's a big guy, man. Like, he was a big guy for 140. And Jorge had one fight there against the journeyman. That was after the Lomachenko loss. He had one fight, then he goes in there with Pablo Cano. And you can see, like, Pablo's way too big for this guy, dog. He's way too big for this guy. Well, I wouldn't call him extremely vulnerable. He beat Mercito Gesta. He beat Anthony Crolla. He beat Luke Campbell. Like, he's a 3-division champion. Like, this is what I mean. Everybody focuses on the bad. You know, like, oh, he lost to this guy. Yo, dog, the dude is a 3-division champion. 3-division. Ring Magazine. WBA. Hey, never mind the WBA. He's a Ring Magazine champion. That belt ain't easy to win. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You look at that guy. That guy looks like he can make super featherweight. He looks like he can make super featherweight. But just back to Mark's live. That's my son. He's being a pain in the butt. Who got Giles? What did Giles say, bro? Let me see. What did Giles say? I'm trying to skim up and see what Giles said. I don't see his comment. Oh yeah, I agree, Jimmy. He wanted that pay-per-view money, but the thing is that you can't you can't say that, oh, well, he wanted the pay-per-view money when they were talking about, he himself was talking about fighting Vasyl Lomachenko on pay-per-view. So it's not as simple as saying, well, he wanted pay-per-view money. You would have got pay-per-view money fighting Loma. Linares made Yayo Thompson look like Valero. I don't know. How long ago had he lost to Yayo? I mean, you're talking about one of those losses from one of the earlier losses that he suffered. I'm pretty sure you're talking about one of the earlier losses. I was good at UK Rob. I'm gonna end up putting my son in the corner if he doesn't stop whining. Crawford couldn't handle today's 100. Oh, that's ridiculous. Come on, dog. How could he not handle today's 140-pound division when we watched Jose Ramirez languish with Victor Postol years after Crawford beat him easy? This is what I mean. Like, there are a lot of things in boxing that are treated as if they're open to interpretation, and they're not. What I just said isn't open to interpretation. When Crawford fought Victor Postol, he beat him easy. It wasn't competitive. Fast forward a couple of years later, one of today's champions at 140 pounds, he fights that same Victor Postol, and both Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez, they had a harder time with Victor than Crawford did. That's not a debate. If you saw those fights, you know it's not a debate. So if you find yourself debating that, it's you that has the problem. Because, I mean, I seen all them fights. Josh didn't look good against Victor. No, he didn't. Some people was arguing that the knockdown saved the fight for him. Jose really didn't look good against Victor. He didn't. Some people don't think Jose won that fight. I remember all of that. Some people don't think Jose did enough to win that fight. I just know how he looked. And none of those guys were getting off on Victor Postol the way that Terrence Crawford was getting off on Victor Postol. What are you telling yourself, that Crawford can't beat Zapata? He beat Felix Diaz, an Olympic gold medalist. He beat Felix Diaz there. He beat Victor Postol there. Crawford stops Taylor and Ramirez, possibly. I mean, that's not the craziest thing I've ever heard. So much for signing with the PBC. Joker's Eubank had more fights in a year than Saunders. Hey, man. I don't know what trajectory they have for Chris aside from feeding him to Jermall Charlo. I don't know what they're else. I don't know what else they're building him towards. You understand me? Because he's in the middleweight division. We know that Jermall isn't going to fight Demetrius. We know that Jermall isn't going to fight Ryota Murata. It's not even about who wins the fight. It's whether or not the network relationship exists to make a fight happen. And I'm not expecting Jermall to fight Ryota Murata or Demetrius Andrade or Gennady Golovkin or nobody. He's going to stay right there on PBC Island, and, you know, maybe they'll make a Chris Eubank Jr. fight. That's one way to look at it, Jimmy. That's one way to look at it. But yeah, you know, I was listening to Mark Slav, and I was just listening to this guy. I was not Mark. I was listening to Mark Slav, and I was just listening to Smoke just make the dumbest arguments, man. I'm like, yo, Mark is better than me, because I wouldn't listen to that dude, dog. I'm not gonna go live to hear some stupid ass shit. Like really, dog. So you just, because you have no common sense. All right. You just and you think that because you're arguing that makes it a good argument. Like, stupid stuff. He's arguing about the discrepancy in skill between heavyweights and fighters that fight at lighter weights. And that argument in and of itself is a myth, because a jab is a jab is a jab. A pivot is a pivot is a pivot. A shift is a shift. When you change levels, you change levels. I mean, these are things that have to do with skill, you understand. The range of motion for a heavyweight might be different, but skills are skills. You either know how to throw a jab or you don't. And the only reason he says stuff like this is to accommodate his argument. The news says that Eubank just left the PBC to sign with Saarland. Ooh, good for him. Good for him. I don't know what the Saarlands are going to have him doing aside from, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to have him doing, but good for him. I appreciate that, Les Reed. Well, let's put it this way. If you're a fighter based out of Europe, if you're not an American-based fighter and you're not trying to appeal to an American audience and your division is not dominated by Americans, right? The Saarlands are actually a good fit. They'll get you out there, they'll keep you fighting, and they have good relationships with Matchroom, and I'm pretty sure they're okay with Top Rank. There's no reason for there to be a rift between them and Top Rank. So you could do a lot worse than get with Kale and Nisei Saarland. That they're good promoters. For a European based fighter though, that's the thing, that most of what they do is based out of Europe, Germany and Dusseldorf and all of that stuff. But yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, as long as because the middleweight division isn't dominated by Americans. Like Ryota Murata, middleweight. Gennady Golovkin, he's based out of America, admittedly. He is based out of America, but he's not limited to fighting there. Now Jermall, he is based out of America. He is American, and he is trying to appeal to an American audience. So Eubank wants Charlo at 160 or Saunders at 168. Yeah, I know. Dusseldorf is Germany. I don't consider it dead, but it's definitely not as exciting as the excitement that was there about 4 or 5 years ago. It's not there now. It's not there now. That was a hot weight class before. It's not a hot weight class now. And like, it's because guys like Chris are being very, like, yeah, we always talk about the Charlo stuff. We always talk about that Charlo needs to fight Andre. That's not helping the division. But also, Chris Eubank Jr. should be trying to fight Ryota Murata. That's a great fight. But look, what are we talking about? You can't go and I haven't seen the news. You understand? I don't know, but if it's true that he left the PBC to go to Saarland Promotions, you can't go to Saarland and start calling out Jermall. You were already on the right side of the street to get Jermall, bro. You can't go to another promoter and then say, "Oh, I want Jermall." So you went over there because you want Jermall Charlo. Come on, dog. That's just some goofy ass shit. Like, really? You want Jermall, so you went over there. All right. I do wonder, under Saarland, given where he campaigns, what is it that he plans on doing? Maybe, and I'm guessing, this is a prelude to Chris Eubank Jr. making another appearance in the World Boxing Super Series. Maybe this is a prelude to him making an appearance in the third season, because I think about the middleweight division. I think about the super middleweight division, and it's like, okay, why'd you go with them? You would have been better off going to Matchroom. If you want a Saunders fight, and you're campaigning at these weights, that would be the way to go, because that's who has the fighters. At super middleweight they have fighters, and he was already in, not for nothing, Y'all know I don't like the PBC, but if you wanted a Charlo fight, you were already in the right place to get one. So I mean, I don't know, man. Beats, I gotta shoot Beats a link, man. Beats is my guy. I shoot Beats a link, man. It's my goddamn guy right there. Yeah, man. It's like I don't know, dog. Like if that, I'm saying if that's the news, Beats, because they telling me that he went to Solid Promotions. I cannot confirm that. That is what I am being told, and I'm thinking if he did go to Sarlin, why? The hell are you gonna do over there? No. You think Jamal beats Eubank? Possibly. Possibly. Got a lot of matches in Denmark years ago. It faded away. How come I get a ring on the live comment? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know if he went over there, if I'm being honest. I didn't see that. Like, I didn't see that. I know that they're saying that they were going to make a big announcement. Sarlin Promotions, they said they were about to make a big announcement, and they had the Union Jack emoji on their in the comments. So I'm like, well, maybe that's what the big announcement was, that they signed Chris Eubank Jr. I don't know. Let me see. All right. Per tweet from Michael Benson, Chris Eubank Jr. has reportedly signed with Sarland. He previously worked with Cale Sarland while in the World Boxing Super Series. Since then, he's had two. Al Heyman, yo. I swear to God, they act like Al Heyman. Like, bro, that's facts, bro. Since he went to that side of the street, the dude only fought 2 times. How long ago was the World Boxing Super Series? Wasn't that like the first season? Wasn't that like 2 years ago? And the dude fought 2 times. Oh man, yo, dog. I can't like that. That's that. Like when my man Alexis Rumbero, shout out to Alexis. That go back to what me and him was talking about. That look, Ray Vargas signed to the PBC, and guess what? He hasn't had a fight since. Like you don't go over there to fight, bro. You go over there to lounge. You don't go over there to fight. You go over there to get cash incentives, not to fight and not to take certain fights. That's why you go over there. If you want to fight, you can't go over there. I wonder what happened with the Maurice Hooker thing. Because Maurice Hooker, this was in last August, Mike Kopinger tweeted that Maurice Hooker has signed a multi-fight deal with the PBC. And at the time, it's like, yeah, it makes sense because he got too big for 140. He can't make that weight no more. That's why the Prograis fight got all messed up. So it's like, all right, I dig it. But since then, what have they had him doing? I feel I don't know this, so just so that y'all know, I'm not passing it off as fact. When I look at the situation, it's almost like what could they not get him any fights or something? Because did they not have fight dates? Do they not have enough fight dates to accommodate their fighters? Because I'm like, yo, dog, like you just signed them, you haven't even fought under them yet. I don't know if he's Billy's mandatory, bro. I don't know because I saw what the WBO said. They don't have a mandatory challenger. They're gonna pick one. It could be Zach Parker because he's there. He's like in that top 3 conversation in their ranks. But they didn't say that he's the mandatory challenger. I was Goody Boxing God. Sugar Hill ambushed, but most don't know about YouTube content. Oh yeah, man. I gotta ask you, Beats.
Yo, what's up?
Do you view Bermain? Do you view Bermain Stavern and Jorge Linares as being on an even keel in terms of skill?
Um, in terms of skill, yes. Application and conditioning and fitness, no.
I gotta disagree. I don't like Stavern is like a solid guy. He was. I'm not even gonna say he is because he's not anymore. But nah, man, Jorge's a more skilled guy than that guy, man.
Well, it's two different skill sets because they're in two different weight classes. I will say this for Stavern. As an amateur, he did have some skills. He really did have some skills, and even when you look at the way he set what's his name, the Mexican Chris Arreola up for the knockout in the second fight. He definitely had some skills. His dedication hasn't always been there though, and the application to his fitness and his craft hasn't always been there.
Yeah, but looking at both of those guys, like I think Jorge's a better combination puncher, a more accurate puncher than Stavern. He's a better jabber. He's got better feet than Stavern. Stavern can't fight going backwards. Jorge can. He can fight going backwards. He can fight going sideways. He's just not the most durable guy. If Jorge Linares has a hang up, a drawback, it's that he's not that durable. You know, he's physically, but that doesn't mean that he's not skilled. That's physical. You know what I mean? Like Amir Khan. Amir Khan, good boxer. He's just not that durable. He doesn't take the best punch. But him not being that durable doesn't mean he's a bad boxer. That just means, well, he doesn't take the best punch.
How did that come up anyway? It seems like an odd sort of very kind of random comparison.
Well, they were talking about who has the better resume, Vasyl Lomachenko or Deontay Wilder.
Oh well, look, Linares has a better resume than Stavern, and look, I'd say I wouldn't. To be honest, it's probably because it's two different criteria. Heavyweight skill, a little different from lightweight. I'd say probably maybe Linares against it. It's pretty close though. Stavern does have some skills. You can see the way he set up guys like Camarillo and David Price as an amateur. And he does have some skills. He did it seems weird to say that now, but he's in decline now. He's in decline.
Look, this is how I think about it because I've often heard this argument about heavyweights and fighters that fight at lighter divisions. I feel it is true. The heavyweight division is unique because of the level of physicality. I look at it as the most physical division in the whole sport of boxing because that's the division where you could get hit one time and that's it. That's it, right? But if we're talking about skill is what is applied. You know, a lazy jab at heavyweight is a lazy jab at middleweight. If you don't bring that hand back fast enough, that's a lazy jab. You see what I mean? Yeah. That the skill is the same. A shift is a shift. A pivot is a pivot. A jab is a jab. A slip is a slip. When you bob, these are skills. You know what I mean? All of these are skills. Keeping your chin tucked. It's a skill. You know, getting that hand back fast enough to protect that side of your face, that's a skill. And I don't view this skills gap, that the heavyweights, they're bigger guys, so they're not necessarily moving the way lighter fighters would. No, they're not moving the same way they would, but this is about skill, not physicality.
Well,
you know
what I mean? Stavern being one of the smaller heavyweights, is often having to pull down some 6'5", 6'6" guys. So there has to be a bit of craft in being able to do that. You know.
All right. I'll say this much. I'll concede that because he's not a heavyweight who's on the bigger end of the spectrum. But in the greater scheme of things, what is on Bermain Stavern's resume?
Oh, there's not much on there. There's not much on there at all.
So that's what I mean. I'm like, look, I think about Jorge and what Jorge was to his division, and then I look like if we're going to compare these guys because that's the conversation that they were having. So
Linares is the better fighter. Forget skills and all that shit. There, Linares is the better fighter.
But I do view him. As a more skilled fighter. For example, ahead of the Vasyl Lomachenko fight, I said Jorge has one of the most bankable right hands in this whole weight class. He's going to land that punch. believe it. Even on Vasyl Lomachenko, believe it. He's going to land that punch. Doesn't matter who he's in there with. That's coincidentally, I did pick Loma to win. I thought he'd win on points. He stopped him. Better still. Jorge got off that shot. Jorge is he's not in the best condition that he's ever been in. Not right now. But yeah, back then, yeah, he's a solid fighter, man. He's a quality operator. And I cannot relegate a 3-division champion to Bermane Stiverne, who only held his title for 10 seconds. Like there's no comparison.
Yeah,
Jorge is a quality operator, or he was. I don't know where he's at anymore.
I have to get. I give it to I give it to Linares. I give it to Linares. Like skills and rhythm.
Yeah, to me, it's madness. I'm like yo, dog. Jorge is a 3-division champion. I know that maybe he won't go down, as one of the all. Obviously, he's not going to go down as one of the all-time greats. Granted, and to some people, it was a point of contention as to whether or not you could even classify him as a pound-for-pound fighter. I'm not even going to get into that because that's a whole.
I don't think even a contest though between Lomachenko and Wilder's resume.
Because guess what was on there, bro? Get the Smoke was on there. You remember the guy that we had him on?
Not being funny. Like Smoke is a bit too heavy for me at times, man. Just a bit too heavy. I can't
talk to that guy, Duck. I can't talk to that.
Yeah.
This whole year, that dude is not gonna be on. Like I'm not talking to that dude. I don't got time for that dumb shit. Remember when he tried to sit here and argue about what Shelly Finkel said? Like, bro, that's what he said, bro. Stop trying to spin it. That's what Shelly said. So I don't need you to try to interpret it for me. I speak English. I can read. I don't need you to interpret it for me. He caught the man a baby. He caught the man a prospect. The man had been in the game for 7 years and 33 professional fights.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and argue this dumb shit. Like I'd be wasting my own time arguing that dumb shit. Like, come on, man.
Well, Lomachenko's resume is way better than Wilder's.
And you and I gotta remind people the same way I do with Canelo. I'm not a Lomachenko, I'm not a Lomachenko fanboy. Like, he's a good fighter. I've always said he's a good fighter. But I also always said I don't think he's gonna be around that long. That's another thing. At the end of the day, it's not complex. All right. Lomachenko was a champion in more weight classes than Wilder. He beat more world champions than Wilder. He unified more world titles than Wilder in a shorter amount of time than Wilder. I don't even know if Vasyl Lomachenko has been around for 7 years. Has he? Because that's how long it took Wilder to get a belt.
Yo, can you lot hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Guan. Yeah, I just had to get in because when you lot start talking about skill, I thought some of these conversations were a bit ridiculous because if you've watched Linares all round, I can't see, and I know the people who don't know me kind of get annoyed when I talk about inside shit, but let's see the Pablo Cano fight, yeah, that happened at the Garden. Pablo Cano and Linares both trained at Mendez Boxing for that. The day of the weigh-in, Cano was in there in a plastic bag on the treadmill for an hour straight. Cano went into that fight about 165 pounds. You know what I mean? And then when while we're on this, yeah, we talk about seeing these men up close. I've shot 3 Stiverne fights, fam. I'm sorry. Skill, yeah. The heavyweight thing, whatever, you can't put him on there, yeah. Before the Linares Lomachenko fight, I told people, I was like, listen, I don't like the word expose. I said Linares is going to do things that no one's ever done to Lomachenko. And you saw it. This man took away that right-hand turn that Lomachenko loves. And ever since he did that, every fighter after him has been doing the same thing. It's exactly the same thing that Lopez just did. You try to do that right-hand pivot, boom, take a right hand with you or take a left. Basically, remember Linares hooking man's arm and turning with him when he tried to do that pivot. So on a skill set thing, yeah, after seeing these men up close, You can't even. That's an incredibly stupid argument
But
to
that's
make.
listen, Lennox. That's the argument that Get the Smoke was making. They asked them. Mark asked. They were surveying resumes and who they felt had a better resume. And obviously Wilder was only a champion in one weight class, so they relegated Loma's resume to just what he did in the lightweight division. But even what he did in the lightweight division is better than the sum total of Deontay Wilder's resume because Jorge Linares is a more skilled operator and a higher rated guy than anyone that Wilder.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. If you make the decision to weigh both fighters, right, and it's what right do you have to take away his other two weight classes before?
Well, no. See, this is the thing, and I bear in mind I'm of Beats's school of thought. I'm of that. Like I'm dealing with reality. This is not a one division champion. This is a 3 division champion. That is a testament to his skills, and that is not my opinion. That is reality.
That is the entire concept of what pound for pound is based on. Can you go through weight classes? And I mean, like he made legitimate weight class moves, right? He actually moved up, stayed, did things. Yeah, it wasn't this. Oh, let me pick up a belt here so I can claim. Wasn't doing the Adrian Broner weird man thing. You get me? So. But yeah, fam. So I don't even understand. Yeah, I try to like step back from a lot of this thing because I realize a lot of people who claim to be boxing fans and that, them man don't even really understand or like boxing. Like you man like to see one-sided beatdowns and things like that. You don't really understand. Like, remember, I was pointing out for mad time, yeah, that you people don't really understand how difficult it is to execute some of them things there that Femi was doing as a 6 foot something to almost 200.
Let me make this point. That proves Anthony Joshua's fight, right? This is a man who's 6'6". How much did he weigh? About 230, right? 230 for the Pulev fight.
Walked in 240.
Wait. 6'6". Executes a pull counter. Don't tell me that heavyweights. Oh no, it's different because they bigger. They can't. I just saw a 6'6" man execute a pull counter. All right.
Hang on. Beyond the pull counter, how about throwing an uppercut, a pivot, and another double uppercut? That's more difficult than a pull counter. Fam, I know lightweights who can't do that.
I'm glad you're saying that, Lennox, because I'm of the opinion that look, skill, right? Skill lives in one place. That's what you apply. That's application. Physicality is what everybody's talking about. That a man who's 6'6" cannot move like a smaller man. Maybe that's true, even though I don't completely agree. I don't completely agree with that.
I don't agree with that because, like, they were talking about Joshua. He broke his record in school when he was for 100 meters, and he ran about 11 seconds or something. And this is a big guy. Even then, he was a big guy, right? If you're 6'4" and like 15 stone, and you can run 100 meters in 14 seconds, you are an athlete of some note. Have to be.
Yeah, like I look at look, for example, right? Joe Joyce, who fucked up my 2020. Fuck you, Beats. All right, fucked up my 2020. But this man is about 6'6", 230 something, 240. He can do a backflip. I am not 6'6" and can't do a fucking backflip. Okay, he does that capoeira shit. So this myth that because they're heavyweights, the skill, like no. One, you're not even talking about skill. 2, you're talking about their range of motion and the quality and fluidity of their movement. And Joe Joyce being able to do goddamn backflips should be telling you something.
Yo, Julius, forget the backflip. Look at the way he was rolling away from some of the shit. Because Dubois is a very good offensive fighter, right? He can't move his head and shit, but if he's throwing his head, it's something else. And like Joe did a pretty good job rolling away from some of them shots. And like you're saying, he's 6'6", and he don't look the most graceful. Like, look, if you're a good fighter, you're a good fighter. Like, you can't be telling me that guys like Holyfield who are heavyweights or Michael Dokes had supremely fast hands and all types of skill. Riddick Bowe used to be able to jab, left hook off the jab as good as anyone. Yeah, I mean that's a crap argument, really.
Yeah, and the argument that I often hear being made is that you cannot compare the skill set, right? Emphasis on skill. You cannot compare the skill set of a smaller man to the skill set of a heavyweight, and that's bullshit. A jab is a jab. You understand? A shift is a shift. A pivot is a pivot. Changing levels is changing levels. Tucking your chin, keeping your hands. These are all skills. Getting the hand back fast enough to protect that side of your face. These are all skills.
Chris Bird used to do pull downs as well.
A heavyweight is just as capable of applying all of this as a smaller fighter. There's smaller fighters that can't do things that heavyweights can do. So that whole argument is a myth.
I think the thing is, a lot of people don't really know what they're watching, because I see man them go on about who's faster and this, that, and the third, or who hits harder. And these men watch a fight and don't see things yet. I watch a fight, and like I think Beats just did a video where he was talking about man them talking about they always remember the win. You don't see what happened in the actual fight. I see a guy where they go, oh, he's so fast, and he's in there with a guy that he's supposedly faster than, and the other guy's beating him to the punch. So I'm going, nah, fam, you're not that fast. Because if I say go and you both jab at the same time, and the guy who's supposedly slower is beating you to the fight, is beating you to the punch, means that you're not that fast. So you may be fast, and so there's fast and quick. Fast means, man, you can hit the mitts and look super. You can let off 10 shots in this thing. But in a fight, quick is what's going to pay the bills more. So you can be fast and not quick.
I'll say, look, on the outside, right? I'll use Joseph Parker as an example. On the inside, he's quick. On the inside, he's quick. Like he can put together a series of punches quickly. But on the outside, now he's not that fast. Same with Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz can string together a lot of shots very quickly on the inside, but on the outside, he's no good.
Okay, hang on. So you see that example you use, where the man them go, oh, remember the argument against Joshua? Oh, you can't exchange with the man with the faster hands. Well, how many times did Ruiz manage to beat Joshua to the jab? Never. So who's faster? So who's got the hand speed there?
I don't talk about that fight, and I don't talk. There's certain fighters, right, that if I'm trying to have a boxing conversation, and I say it all the time, I can only have a conversation like this with you, Lennox, or with Beats, or someone like that, because Joshua is polarized. So if I try to have this discussion, people are gonna, Joshua is like, bro, like, all right, bro. You
no. But honestly, that's a clearer example, right? Andy Ruiz, hang on.
If he had faster hands, for example, if he had faster hands than Joshua, then he could double up his jab and get to Joshua. But you saw that so long as Joshua's jabbing and moving, Andy can't touch him. You only have speed on the inside. On the
hand speed argument between them is at range. Like at close range, Ruiz has faster hands, but at distance, AJ has the quicker hands.
Yeah, but Beats, you see the difference between quick and fast. So if you can get in at a stationary target and let off 10 punches, you could say it looks faster. But application-wise, if we're talking boxing, pure boxing, right? Who can touch who before the other man gets off? That's quick.
Well, exactly. Let me give you the argument. Like when I was breaking down Floyd versus Pacquiao, I had a couple of people who unsubscribed my channel. Said, I can't deal with this bias shit. But man, he's faster than Floyd. I said, listen, I was laughing at them. I said, he's not faster than Floyd. He's faster at a certain range, throwing quick combinations at a certain level of opposition. But when you see them fight, you're going to see who's quicker and who's a step ahead of who. And everything I said played out because I broke down the fight and like people, why are you saying it's going to be so one-sided? I said because it is. Because it is.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, and also when you talk about boxing, when you take those two things into account, and if the quicker fighter is able to control range and the other man can't get into where he can let off his faster hands, fam, it's a no contest. I won't even touch the recent fight. Let's go to the Floyd argument, right? What you just used. That's what it was. Yeah. You know what I mean? All Floyd did was control range with the quickness. You know what I mean? So that's just, you know what I mean? So these men, so my point in this year is like them don't even know what they're watching.
No,
Like
No,
they
they
don't
don't.
really
They go
understand
crazy.
it.
I say it, and they think that I'm trying to condescend, or they think that I'm trying to sit on a high horse. When I say that, they're like, a lot of times the shit that they saying, or the shit that a lot of people saying, yo, you don't know what the fuck you looking at. I'm not trying to be Burt Sugar. Feel me? I'm not. But I know that you don't know what you're looking at when you keep telling me that a heavyweight cannot have the same skill set as a smaller man. When Tyson Fury for example, he's a more well-schooled boxer than a Pablo Cano, isn't he?
Mhm.
Doesn't he
Yeah.
move better than Pablo Cano? Doesn't he have better defense and lateral movement? Doesn't he? Isn't he
Here's the
more
thing, though.
versatile?
I was trying to tell them when I because it started to become like arguments. Oh,
No.
I said, do you know Pacquiao didn't learn how to actually box properly till about 2009, right?
Yeah.
Right? Listen, it was a well-known. If you was watching boxing back then when he fought Marcus, everyone knew that he wasn't a boxer. He was a hand speed guy. He was an athletic guy. Marquez was boxing rings around him from the first fight. Boxing rings around the guy.
Right, you know what? And I almost don't want to broach this topic because I know Beats is a bit, you know, what I mean, it's a bit of a sticky one still. But I'll bring up an example about the man them who don't understand and how people get caught up at the end of fights and not this thing. So what I saw last week was the fact that this kid still throws with his chin in the air. He's not as fast as they said he is, and Mandem was able to take away that left hook to the head, make him look stupid, totally make him look stupid. And I don't know why he didn't use the southpaw ankles when he spun this kid and throw body shots off the backside. Oh yeah, he did once, and the ref cautioned him. So these men are getting super excited and acting like this kid.
Let's say this. Let's say this because Ryan does have hand speed. The thing is, for the very first time, Ryan was in there with someone who doesn't need to be all the way on the inside to touch him. So that fucked with his hand speed. Luke is not a little guy. You know, you got the speed to where you can get that shot off before that little guy closes the gap on you. But with Luke don't need to be close to you to touch you. And that's why there was a difference. Luke don't need to be all up on you to hit you with a punch. He can hit you from the outside. And that's the difference.
That's the thing too, and also remember I pointed out foot positioning. You fought a southpaw, and
Luke had weight.
yeah, he had lead foot. So hang on. He had lead foot positioning, and he took away your favorite punch. He made you look stupid. Like so, and I'm thinking, fam, you still close your eyes. You were missing these wild left hooks up top, and these men are going on like, oh yeah, he was this, that, and the third. I'm thinking, yo, listen. I know you people like to hate on Haney, and he hasn't fought anyone. It's no fault of his. And I think I tweeted you, and I was like, yo, listen, man's going to swerve him because there's no way he gets in there with someone athletic and young with a skill set. It's going to have all those holes and not capitalize on it. Because I'm sorry, the chat's going to go mad in this and that. Like, fam, Haney might not hit hard, but he's not going to make those mistakes and not get touched up and counted every time. Like, you think he's gonna miss the?
Well, hold on. If we're gonna talk about Devin, right? And
no. I'm just using Devin as a common example.
Devin, right?
Yeah.
Will have a more boring fight with Luke, but he won't get knocked down. I guarantee it. Like the Men's Warehouse. I guarantee it.
No. But my point, I was just using a recent example to point out how the man them have selective views and selective memories of fights. You know what I mean? Where they don't see things that were happening. Because what I saw at the end there was like, yo, these people are celebrating like he won a belt, but really, you know why they're so happy? Is like, damn, we thought this was gonna go to the cards and he might not have looked that good. That was more of a relief celebration than a like we won. Because fam, like you think about it, this is an eliminator, and you're not even gonna take the shot at the belt. Oscar was relieved.
You know why I give it to Ryan? Look, never mind them because I'm not overzealous. Ryan, I give it to him because there were 2 times that people asked him to fight someone. 3 times now, really. that people wanted him to fight someone that they thought could beat him. And he, look, well, I'm not going to say they thought that about Fonseca, but they thought that about Duno. They did think that about, oh, he's ducking Duno. He's ducking Duno. He goes in there, he smokes Duno. Fucking smoked him. Now, I see him in there with, and I don't have a low opinion. I think ultimately what these comments come from is people really don't understand boxing. Luke is a good fighter. Y'all just looking at
the argument we're making.
Hold on. Y'all just looking at box rec. That's it. Oh, he lost. Did you see him box, bro? That's what I want to know. Did you see that? I said, yo, he's gonna give fucking Loma. He's gonna give his ass a good fight. Watch. He gave him a good fight. But nah, it's like, how could I put it? You can't detect an accent in a language you don't speak. So you can't interpret boxing unless you understand boxing. Like, yeah, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He's not the greatest. He's lost his step-ups, but he is a good fighter. All right. And Ryan beat a good, solid fighter. He had to deal with adversity. He takes away more from that fight where he had to deal with adversity than what Gervonta Davis took away knocking out Leo. Leo made a retarded mistake. You threw the same punch three times.
Yeah. and honestly, and you know what? I was thinking about this, yeah, and I think you lot are the right to have. So I was thinking about this, and I'm like, yo, fam, why is he so aggressive towards Devin? And outside of the political sort of like, oh, this is gonna make money, this, that, and the third, I'm thinking, fam, Devin, I'm sorry, not Devin, Gervonta, he's a smaller guy. Man doesn't got the pop at 135 because you forget, fam, you were hitting Gamboa with everything at 135. Everything. And I think that was a nonsense stoppage. I think the ref was like, yo, we got to give this kid a knockout. So as soon as he did something in the 12th round, all right, let's wave it off. Because I watched the fight again. Gamboa could have finished the fight on his feet. I'm sorry. I feel like the ref gave it to him. So I'm thinking, all right, yes, everyone's gassed off what you did to the little pillow-fisted man them, yeah? But at 135, you let off on that man like I let off on a 300-pound heavy bag, and you didn't make a dent in him. And man's not the Gamboa of the Terence Crawford days. He's not the most durable. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, hang on. Let me finish. So I'm thinking these lot are looking at him like, nah, fam, he ain't got no pop. I can go in there and pause, bang on him, and probably stop him. That's what Luke is. Because Luke, I mean, sorry, fucking right. Garcia is a proper 135 pounder. Gervonta is a chubby kid. You know, and Gervonta is 5'5", and I'm gonna generously say he's man's 5'4" or 5, because I noticed, right? Remember the tail of the tape for Luke versus Garcia, and they keep listing Ryan Garcia as being taller than Luke Campbell. But in the fight, I'm like, Luke Campbell's a taller fighter. So is this like a metric or imperial thing? Because there's no way you're an inch taller than this guy and he's towering over you in the fight. You get me? So I'm thinking their argument, the reason why is this man so gung-ho on Gervonta? Gervonta's a smaller guy, and you lot are getting geeked off punching power that has not been proven on a weight class.
Gervonta Davis's punching power comes from him being a lightweight that cuts down to super featherweight. Once he goes up to lightweight, that power dissipates. You hit Gamboa with clean shots for 12 rounds, and he fucking took them. But he could not take Castellanos' shot. He could not take his shot, but he took yours for 12 rounds. And that's because what Gervonta Davis really is an undisciplined lightweight. That's what he is. And his power comes from, oh, I really belong at lightweight, but my promoter and my manager have me cutting down to super featherweight so that I'll be able to hit harder. I don't believe for a second, and I'm not kidding, I don't believe for a second Gervonta Davis has an easy night with Javier Fortuna. I don't believe that for a second. I don't. I think Javier Fortuna gives him a run for his money, and that's why that's a fight that's not happening. Normally, PBC keeps everything in-house. Instead of putting you in there with Javier, who they put you in there with? Gamboa. Yeah, that wasn't on purpose, right? That wasn't deliberate. It is what it is, man. I'm like, yo, dog, like, now Ryan, And I said this after the fight when I did a video on it, that look, everybody's talking about what, Gervonta Davis did to Leo Santa Cruz. I don't think that Ryan's the most skilled guy, but I don't think he's stupid enough to throw the same punch 3 times either. I think he's a better. I think Eddie Reynoso can school him better than that, because that's what got Leo knocked out. He threw a right hand 3 times backing into the, like, bro. I mean, you're asking to get counted, bro. You're asking for it.
And you're the smaller guy, and you want to stand and trade with the bigger man. Like, nah, fam. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like when them asked me if I traded punches with what's his name, with Kimbo when we sparred out. Hell no, fam. Jab and move, fam. I'm not letting you. I know you're loading up. Like, yes, we're the same. We're both 6'1", 6'2", but you've got me on all the other sides advantages. Why would I stand and trade with you? It's like when I move with Otto. Like, nah, fam. I'm only 6'1". That man's a 6'5". This thing, whatever it is. No, I'm gonna stick and move. I'm not gonna stand there and let you let off on me, even in 18-ounce gloves.
Listen. I already gauged and I'm not talking about styles. I'm not talking about anything other than their power. It is a simple matter of fact that Gervonta Davis needed 8 rounds to knock out Fonseca. All right, power. Right, we're talking power. It took him 8 rounds to do that. It took Ryan 1. And that's why I think they're so gung-ho for that fight, because they know that Gervonta Davis's power is smoke and mirrors. Yeah, that shit flies at 130. That shit don't fly up here. And I don't know, not for nothing, I don't know that he can or can't. So I'm not going to jump to conclusions. But I don't know that Davis could deal with a hard shot. Why? He doesn't fight punchers. If you was fighting the Burchelts and the Itos of the world, then I would know. But you don't.
And you know what? Yeah, you know the madness. Yeah, because this is another situation where it's like I'm not gonna question man's chin the way I question Wilder's. Yeah, but this is sort of another situation. Like, you lot are overrating this man's. Like, I haven't seen you in there against a puncher that throws back. So I haven't seen enough to go, oi, yeah, this, that, and the third. You get me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To me, and they think I say it, or I think that people's interpretation of it is that it's just another episode of me taking the piss. And no, I'm not taking the piss. I'm dead serious. I don't know that Gervonta Davis could deal with a hard shot because he doesn't fight punchers. And he's in a division where, yeah, there are some punchers. Mickey Roman was a puncher. Francisco Vargas was a puncher. Miguel Burchell is a puncher. And these are the people that you don't fight. You fighting Munez and Cuellar, and he like, who the hell are these people?
Yeah, but in saying that though, like Ryan was floored by a Luke's a non-puncher. Well,
I'll agree.
Well, it's not even about being a non-puncher. It's like if you've ever thrown a punch and you understand punches, yeah, the trajectory of that punch meant that it really didn't have much on it.
Well, did you see what happened though? He didn't get that hand back fast enough to protect that side of his face. That was a stupid fucking lapse in judgment from Ryan. That whole area was wide open, dog. If that was somebody else, not Davis, but if that was a harder puncher at lightweight, Ryan don't get off the ground. He don't get off the ground. The way you got hit, you don't get off the ground, bro. But I don't know if Gervonta can do that, because it's different, bro. You little. You ain't 5'11". You ain't a southpaw, but you ain't 5'11". So it's different. Your fight with him is gonna look different.
He'll hit Ryan. He's gonna hit Ryan.
You think he'll hit Ryan, man?
Oh yeah. Ryan too defensively flawed. Ryan can't stop you from getting to the body, and he can't stop you from getting them hooks up. So he'll hit him. It'll be now whether he can do anything like put him out, or like if he puts him down, he'll finish him. Where Luke did, I think Luke he'll do a better job trying to finish him than Luke did.
I feel like Eddie Reynoso, which is the game changer for me. I feel like Eddie would tell Ryan to box him, stay behind his jab, and don't get overzealous with his punches, because he doesn't have to engage Gervonta. You could jab his little ass to death. He's working off the counter. Gervonta ain't no combination puncher. He'll throw one counter shot to get you hurt and then he'll start punching. Before that, he's not doing nothing. I could see Ryan beating him, but I don't know about knocking him out. I can actually see Ryan beating him.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if Ryan boxes him, I'm not going to put money on it. I would say if he boxed him, it would make it an easier fight.
Remember, watch every Gervonta Davis fight. He don't throw. He looks for the counter. When he gets off the hard counter, then he starts putting punches together. But before that, he's not fucking doing nothing, man. Not doing nothing. And at lightweight, I don't. And like I said, at lightweight, I don't trust him to beat Javier Fortuna. And I'm not joking. I'm dead ass. I don't trust him at that weight.
Yeah, look, he's definitely shaky because, like, he hasn't fought nobody in the weight class, and beating Leo Santa Cruz doesn't show us anything. But they're all relatively untested. Apart from Tio, none of them have really got any wins to really qualify their skill sets yet.
I'll go a step further, Beats. I don't know. I don't want to jump to conclusions. I don't know that he could beat Miguel Berchelt.
We don't. I agree. 100%. We don't.
I don't, because Miguel Berchelt is going to force you to go backwards. He's people don't realize Berchelt is big for 130. He's big. He fit right in at 135. He's going to force Davis to go backwards. On top of that, I feel Berchelt can take his power because he fought fucking Mickey Roman. Look up Mickey Roman. If that man don't do nothing else, he hit hard. If he don't do nothing, he hit hard. And
it's on there.
There's, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't have a boxing match with Mickey. He had a war with Mickey, and he beat the shit out of Mickey, dog. So I'm telling you, it's a lot of. I got a lot of questions about Gervonta. A lot. That's why
the thing is, there's a lot of questions around all these lads, which is I think Beats brought it up in a video where Mandem going on about the Fab Four. I'm like, nah. You lot got to get in there and fight each other at least twice, before we start all of this, because it's this, man. Listen, when I look at these lot, all I see is question marks. You get me? Like all I see is question marks. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. All I see is question marks. Let's get in there and get these fights made, and let's stop all the political. Because honestly, the thing about why I'm not getting excited about all this nonsense with Garcia and that, I'm like, this is another exercise in clout chase marketing. They're gonna get all the man them geeked up about it, and then toss us some stupid fight. Because I think what's gonna happen next? We're going
to get Gary Russell at 130 pounds. That's what we're going to get.
And then we're going to get Linares against Garcia.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I said that shit. I said that shit over a week. That's what we're going to get. I
think we'd be lucky to get Linares and Garcia.
We'll get Linares. Trust me. We'll get Linares. Well, let's put it this way. I don't want to make stupid bets. But I'm confident that's a fight they can make.
Oh, speaking of bets, what happened to my escrow money, fam?
My ass is my ass. Linares is a Golden Boy Promotions fighter. It's the logical fight to make because you fought Luke, you beat Luke, you step up with Jorge because Jorge beat Luke before you beat Luke. You know, it makes sense. And because I'm not a complainer, because like boxing fans act like they don't like boxing. I'm not going to complain about Garcia versus Linares. That's all right.
I'll be up in the game if I get to see it on the zone. I'll be up in. I don't think they're going to take it. I don't think they're going to fight Linares.
You don't think You don't think they're confident enough to put him in there with him?
No.
They have to, though. It's Linares or who at this point?
Yeah, it's Linares. Wait. He hasn't got a belt. He's not obligated to fight no mandatories or anything.
No, this is what I mean. You guys got everybody high. The marketing, you're painting yourself into a corner because you're trying to convince people and get them excited about a fight you know you're not about to give them. You're not about to give them Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. There's a multitude of problems with that situation that I don't believe they're going to iron out in one fight. But you have to give them something. So you give them Linares.
They're not going to fight Linares, man. Look like they're not going to fight someone like that. Technically a dead.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
seasoned. He knows every step of the 135 division. They're not going to fight Linares next, bro.
Well, you know what? You know
They
what?
can't put him in there with
Linares.
a fucking Duno, man. Like they can't put him in there.
Nah, but you know what? If they look, yeah, because I know one thing I know that Reynoso is good at is catching fighters at the right time. If they scout Linares and see that he's got enough rust on him, because I think, yeah, in the previews, I think honestly, I think they swerved that previous fight that they had tabled because Linares was in Vegas with your favorite trainer, you know. Say his name, Julius. Say his name. Now, Julius knows who. Say his name, Julius.
Ismael Salas,
Yes.
right?
So yeah, yes.
Ah,
Linares was in Vegas. Remember when that fight was being discussed? Linares was in Vegas, and now listen. You know, Salas trains one of one of my mates who just went. My friend actually who just went pro. I think I told you he's at 115. Um. So anyway, at that time, man was getting ready to get pro. So he was training there. So he was training with Linares. Linares was with Salas, and then all of a sudden that fight disappeared. This was pre-pandemic. Look at the record. This is pre-pandemic. So I think them looked at it and go, nah, man's not got the skill set and he's not ready for this. Now, I'm not saying Linares beats him because he is vulnerable to get cut. But I think Linares gives him all sorts of nightmares at the time. Now, Linares coming off a year layoff, it's a different thing. A year layoff, and we don't know what COVID's done to his lungs. It might be the right time to catch him.
That's
And
what I
then
mean. That's what I mean. Look, he was gonna fight Fortuna. I still think that's a great fight. I hope. I don't think it's gonna happen now, unfortunately. But now is the time to fight Jorge. Now is this dude just had fucking COVID, bro. He just had COVID. They're gonna kick his ass, bro. They're gonna go after that guy. Watch. I think they're gonna go after that guy. They're not, I don't believe for a second he's gonna fight Davis. You can't. You've gone too far. You went to hot boxing with Mike Tyson. You got everybody all excited. Jeremy Piven's there. I didn't even know Jeremy Piven watches boxing.
yeah, he does.
Jeremy Piven there. He's all excited. Oh, the fight is made, man. You're trying to convince the fight is made, man. You're putting Devin Haney on the back burner like people aren't watching, right? You can't do all this and fight a Duno. You can't go backwards.
hey,
But you
listen, man. Listen. If Ryan goes down, what Golden Boy go left? What's there?
Yeah,
Boy,
and that's the thing. Yo, here's the thing.
Did y'all see the card? Which one was it, man? The card was ridiculous. I think that the round that Luke dropped
them. Yeah, they scored for man. It's mad because okay, here's the thing. Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna get into a little big business talk. Yeah, like we're gonna get into a little boxing business talk. You know that Golden Boy is in seriously. I'm gonna use the term in debt to the zone because you know their whole situation had to be restructured because they no longer had to. So do you think at all there's any chance that they send the man who is now officially their biggest draw to another network? It's not happening.
No,
it's not happening.
No.
It's not.
Well, I said that. I literally said this. Not put 3 or 4 dead. Like, bro, they're not sending Ryan to show.
And then here goes. Yeah, now we're gonna get into A-side politics. You think the man there TMT are gonna admit that they're not the A-side into this thing? So let's stop all the excitement. Now, granted, now they could work out something. Yeah, the zone could potentially do one of those pay-per-view / subscription situations, like they did with the Canelo fight. Make it easy. If you want to watch it on Showtime, you do it on Showtime. If you want to do this thing, but that's a boardroom thing where a lot of executives have to sit down and discuss the splits, yeah, and then you got to understand that there's certain men at Showtime that got no love for what the zone did to their business. So they really, we're not talking like promoters now. We're talking network executives.
We're talking network executives. We're talking.
We're talking people who were in the position, who were almost about to lose, as you know, who were almost about to lose their jobs in 2018 when the zone came through with the splash.
Bro, why do you think they're conjuring up Adrian Broner? Like, why you think they bringing that man back? Like, bro, they ain't got nothing over there, man.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like this Broner's coming back. Really? I'm supposed to be excited by this news? Really?
Like I seen that, and I was about to like. I swear to God, this is not a joke. I'm not saying this for comedic value. I seen that he was coming back, and I was like, I'm going through my motions of doing a video, and I stopped. I'm like, wait a minute, this is Adrian Broner. Fuck this, and I just moved on to another story. Like, I'm gonna spend time to talk about Adrian Broner versus Campas? No, like this journeyman. Like, fuck out of here. Like, for talking about him, I could talk about two journeymen fighting in Argentina. Because I might as well be talking about two journeymen fighting in Argentina. I literally stopped. Like, wait a minute, I'm gonna cover Adrian Broner?
Wow, man.
That's
crazy.
No, they're like he's fighting this guy, and you know why they're doing it. They're trying to fatten him up for Regis.
For Errol. Yeah, for Errol.
No, for Regis. I think it's for Regis.
Okay.
Because Maurice is not there no more.
Who's Errol got? They're fattening him up for Regis. Who's Errol got though?
Now, fam, listen. Listen. You know them man are good magicians. And they'll conjure someone up. And honestly, yes, Ugas is there, but I'm willing to put money down that them men are gonna try their best to swerve that situation. Huh?
They want Broner, bro. They want the car crash. They want Broner Spence. Trust me.
You can't look. You put Broner in there, right? Like, think about it. They got a lot of goddamn nerve because they put together Wilder versus Ortiz too. So you know they got a lot of goddamn nerve. But it's like you did this with Broner. You know, you put him in there with Pacquiao. The numbers weren't astronomical. They weren't. So you tried that already. Do you think 2 years after that people are gonna get excited about Broner? Like, they're not, bro. It's over.
And you also remember, outsides are not open, so Broner doesn't have opportunities to do his normal shenanigans and distract you from the fact that he hasn't thrown a punch in anger in years. You know, because normally when outside's open, you get Broner in clubs, you get him on this thing. You know what I mean? He does that, World Star Hip Hop Boxing promotion for the casuals. You know what I mean? Like, because I saw what is it? One of these man, Pop Vasquez going on about how Broner is, and I was like, fam, Pop, are you high? Are you high? Because you know what it is. I noticed, that I just started listening to podcasts because I got a gig coming up where I got to walk in some boxing podcast. But anyway, I'm listening to like Joe Budden, and they occasionally, them man chat about boxing, but I realize they know nothing, and they only talk about the quote unquote urban. These men someone stood there and spoke about Broner like it was an actual thing, or they talk about Tank's knockout like it was a. I was like, he knocked out a 126 pounder, fam. I'm not really like blast off that.
Featherweight.
Yeah, but
see, I don't care if Leo pulled a pillow out of his trunks in a sauna and laid down right in the center of the ring. It's a featherweight, bro. That's who he knocked out. A featherweight. If you would have did that to Ito, or Burchell, or Herring, or even Farmer, then I could qualify it. You knocked out a featherweight, bro. And I don't care if he never been knocked out before, because you know what he is? He's a featherweight. All right? That's what you did. I'm not high on that. I'm sorry. That make me a hater for saying he's a featherweight?
Well, if he was like an exceptional featherweight, then they'd have more of a case. But he never even established he was the best featherweight.
Bro, all he did was win his belt back from Carl Frampton.
That's all he did.
That's all he did. So it's mad because these lot are like. So anyway, they'll manufacture something, but I think that the Broner hype is going to be a lot more difficult when there's no strip clubs open, or maybe man will go out to Atlanta or like Miami or Texas where he can get into some shenanigans, catch a case or two, make it on Wall Star Hip Hop, and then get them people that care about that. Yeah, I'm not talking about the boxing fans, but
you know that, like, look, the people you trying to sell this fight to, right? They want to see something exciting. Now, there was intrigue with Danny because it's the first fight since the car accident. That's the intrigue. That's the selling point. Cool. We saw that already. Now you know this man, and I don't care what nobody say. Errol is not this big puncher at one. He's not. You're not. If you was a big puncher, if you really were a big puncher, you would have knocked out Sean. Sean has a granite chin. I didn't expect you to knock him out. Why? Because I don't think you're a big puncher, and you didn't. I didn't expect you to knock out Danny. Guess what? You didn't. I don't expect that he knocks out Broner. Broner is a lot of things, but he can take a punch.
Well,
Broner,
didn't everyone just knock him out in sparring already? Although
that was a long time ago, bro. That was a long time. And sparring stuff, to me, there's too many variables that it's like, I don't know how many sparring sessions Broner had that day. I don't know how many sparring sessions Errol had that day. It's a lot of things that I don't know.
There's a lot of variables. There's a lot of variables, and I've seen a lot of men put on better shows in the gym, like there's a couple of heavyweights that I've been around a lot in the last month. One of them, man, he's stunning it. He's stunning, but then I watch his fights. I'm like, yo, fam, the shit I'm seeing in your pro fights.
I know who it is.
I see. Yeah, you know who it is, but let's keep that between us. But because I'm expecting him to get worked over by my friend, and I'm like, nah, fam, he's actually good. But then I pull up his fights, and I'm like, yeah, but why don't you do this shit in the fights? You get what I'm saying? So as much as sparring does tell you certain things, you know what I mean? They're guys that it really only tells you something, depends on the makeup of the fighter. They're guys that put it all up in sparring and they put it in the ring. There's a few guys like that, but they're guys that either shit in sparring, great in the lights, or are great in sparring and shit in the lights. So sparring stories only come into play depending on the fighter. What I will say about Broner is that what happened after Maidana beat him, he became the fucking Kingpin Johnson of the fucking 140, 147 pound range. He knows how to survive.
Yes, but he's not. Look, you can't ask people to pay behind. And the Garcia fight was all right for what it's worth. The card was shit. Like there was nothing memorable on that card. But the fight, the main event, good main event. I still don't think it belonged on pay-per-view. But you can't follow that up with Adrian Broner. Like, no, bro. Like, you're not gonna fool people this time, bro.
Yo, you can get you guys gonna sell.
I mean, Lipinets. Look, this
come on, bro.
Beats. This is why I said Errol is not a pay-per-view attraction.
No, he's not.
Look at how hard we gotta work to like you need Crawford, bro, and Crawford needs you. It's not one way. Crawford needs you, and you need Crawford.
Yeah.
Because outside of that, bro, I don't know that the average person. I don't know that your fans want to pay $80 to see you fight Ugas. Being honest, and Ugas, God bless him. Like, God bless him. He don't belong on pay-per-view. I'm sorry.
Them brothers ain't paying no 80.
And honestly, honestly,
they didn't belong on pay-per-view.
Honestly, I'll keep it a buck. Yeah, keep it honest with you. Ugas might fuck around and beat this man and get robbed on the cards. Because I listen. People may disagree with me. I thought he beat Sean Porter. That's just me.
Ugas is a fighter who I believe, because this is very hard to gauge, but I believe that he improved over the years from those losses. I'm not counting the Sean Porter fight because it was very contentious, but the losses that he took earlier in his career, I believe he has improved since then. He's actually a better fighter than he was, and there is a chance that he's pretty good on the inside. He beat the shit out of Omar Figueroa. And Omar Figueroa is an inside fighter. Though I will say Omar didn't have a trainer, so who knows, man. He didn't have a trainer. He trained himself. He did the Eubank thing.
Spence ain't no drug. Spence won't be no big fights this year.
Nah.
Spence ain't gonna be in no pay-per-view that does over 500,000 this year. So don't nobody come up and tell me he's an A-side fighter. Right? He ain't doing no pay-per-view this year that's gonna go over 500,000. You ain't A-side, bro. Not the A-side I know in boxing.
I think it was you, Beats, that asked this question. where do you draw the line? And you brought up two domestic guys. Oh, because one guy sold 200 more tickets than the other guy. Oh, you gonna start saying you the A side?
Right.
Come on, dog. Like that's not what A side. You know what A side is, bro. When Canelo and Oscar and Floyd and Manny.
A side is when I fight you when you're the A side. I don't have to fight in the ring for years like Madonna. That's A side.
When I can change your life with the money, and it's not even like AJ. He changed Charles Martin's life with the money. He did 7 million, bro. You could afford Wilder, and you wouldn't have got $7 million for it. Not then. Then I'm not gonna argue about it. I could tell if Get the Smoke was here, probably try to argue about the shit. Right. I know what Wilder was getting around that time.
Right for Wilder. There's no American heavyweight who's earned a purse like that this century.
And I don't think Wilder's gonna go back to getting $30 million a fight.
No. Actually, no. Listen. Without having to publicly qualify this thing, Andy Ruiz made the same money in his 2 fights with AJ. Actually, he made more money in his 2 fights in AJ than Wilder did in his 2 Fury fights.
Nah. What about well? I'll go.
No. Now listen, they're gonna make the argument of pay-per-view upside, and this is why I was like, I'm not even gonna get into.
Not the upside. It was reported, because I don't think Wilder and Fury 2 didn't have an upside. It didn't have it didn't have an upside. Look at those guarantees, bro. There's no way on earth that pay-per-view had an upside. There's no way.
What were the guarantees?
30 million to Fury, 30 million to Wilder. You can't there's no upside there's no upside after that, bro. You lost people money. You didn't break $1 million. You can't clear that with less than $1 million pay-per-view buys. I don't even know if you really got the 30, because is the 30 there? Is it there for them to give it to you? Remember, the cable and satellite companies take damn near half.
Yeah.
They take damn near half. Yeah. So where's the 30, bro? You got 16 million at the gate. I forgot the numbers for what it brought in on pay-per-view, if those numbers are real.
Hang on. Mandem always bring up the gate like the promotion just walks away with the gate. You do know that there's facility fees and a percentage that goes.
I know, but I'm saying that even if I take the raw numbers, if I don't factor in most of the expenses, the money's still not there to give you, bro. That's why I'm like, yo, dog, like, y'all really be thinking they be getting all these buku dollars. Why do you think Adrian Broner, after the Pacquiao fight, and this is on video, he had a check in his hand or something, and he just was not happy with that shit. He was walking across, I remember the video, he was walking across like a hallway or some shit. He was not happy with the bread, bro. All right? You got to stop thinking that these guys is getting like most of the gate isn't going to go to Wilder and Fury. That's going to go to cover the expenses. And most of what comes in on pay-per-view, that's going to go to cover the expenses, all right? That's what that's going to go to. I don't even know that if he really got 30 million, but that was what this guarantee was supposed to be. 30 million for Wilder, 30 million for Fury.
All right, let me put it this way, yeah. Wilder bought the same Rolls Royce after 2 Fury fights that Mikey Garcia bought after one time on DAZN. That's all I'm saying, yeah. Fam, you couldn't go for the truck. Garcia didn't have to fight on pay-per-view. He took one fight on DAZN and bought the same whip you're pulling up in.
If you want to know how Mike, look, if you really want to know, right? Just look at Mikey. Look at every interview with Mikey right now. Does it look like this man? He's fat. He's happy. Got haircuts. I think he bought a new car. So that tell you what you need to know. And he hasn't fought. He hasn't fought since the Vargas fight. So that tell you what you need to know. That is a man who is not strapped for cash.
Yeah, so my thing in the A side thing really kills me because I always go back to the same thing, yeah? You say you're an A side, but you're always asking the other man's promoter to send you a contract.
Yeah.
Nah. You can't be an A fight. Listen, here's the thing. Sorry, B. Let me just. I'll give you the floor right after. Right, you can't be an A side and fight on another promotional outfit's card. Like, it just doesn't happen. When's the last time you saw AJ on someone else's? Like, it's not a match room. It's not a matchroom card. You can't be an A side and fight on someone else's promotional this thing, right? If you're the A side, you send the checks and you come to me. So you can't check that. You can't say I'm the A side, but send the contract. It just doesn't work, fam. It's just not that. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, when did you see Manny Pacquiao fight on someone else's card? Even when he fought Mayweather, it was split. You had a top rank on one corner, one neutral corner, and you had Mayweather's promotional outfit on the other neutral corner. You know what I mean? So
I mean,
these men, so no, but Beats had a point to make. We gotta let Beats go.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Beats go. It's just, but I want to say what Beats said before. There were two domestic level guys, and one guy sold 200 more tickets than the other. So what? He's the A side. We gonna do this? A side, B side, 200 tickets.
See, here's the thing, though, right? All right. See, the thing, right? There's always been A side, like everyone said, but it didn't get titled A side until we got to Oscar and Floyd, as far as I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they were A side, Oscar was the only A side, and then Floyd took it from him. So you don't get right super A side, regular A side, and interim A side. But right now, sold more than him, and he's at 147. Does Errol sell more than Mikey Garcia?
Oh shit! He said interim A side.
We got the WBA style.
NABO A side.
If we're gonna go by his pay-per-view numbers, right? He didn't get the Pacquiao fight. Keith Thurman did. So Thurman was in a fight that done 500,000. Errol's never did that. So who's the A side out of him and Keith Thurman?
I agree. I agree with all of it because I believe that until you hit a certain level, let's put it this way, Canelo Alvarez did Errol Spence Jr.'s best numbers, and those were Canelo's worst numbers. The Lara, right. the Liam Smith, those were pay-per-views that did north of 300,000 pay-per-view buys. That's what the reports were. Coincidentally, those are Errol Spence Jr.'s best numbers. So on his worst day, he's doing what your best day. That means you're not an A side in any capacity, bro.
Only thing though, Ring, right, is I saw people saying, "Oh, Canelo's a flop for doing that," and at the same time, there's got people saying Errol Spence is an A side fighter for doing that.
This is mad.
No, the double standard, because some of it's a bit ridiculous. Yeah, someone went on. I saw something about, oh yeah, Fury's I'm like, yo, fam, he didn't fight this year. AJ just fought his mandatory and did 900,000 pay-per-views. Look,
and this is the Fury shit is ridiculous. Like that's just American guys talking a lot of dumb shit. Because it's like, bro, they think about it. For years they said Anthony Joshua is not a star in America, right? Remember that? You guys remember that? They called him Anthony Johnson. But at the same time, you wanted me to believe that an American-based network was going to put up $50 million of their own dollars for a guy you just told me is not a star. This is the kind of nonsensical shit that's like, if he's not a star, right, then why the fuck would they guarantee him $50 million? Right. You can't be both. You can't say he's not a star and then Showtime has to give him 50. Like, that doesn't make sense, bro.
That kills everything. There's no rebuttal to that. No rebuttal at all.
Telling me that he's not a star. They don't even know the man's name. So let's give him $50 million. They don't even give Wilder $50 million, but we supposedly know his name.
They wouldn't even offer Wilder a contract. Like, they wouldn't even offer him a contract, yeah? So
it's stupid, and that's the stupid shit that happens with Fury. Fury came to America, and he did okay for what it's worth, because I still think he did okay given the circumstances. What other UK fighter could have done what Fury did over here? He still did okay. I respect what he did, but let's not kid ourselves, bro. Like, chill. Because if Fury comes over here and he fights anybody but Wilder, we saw the Valine numbers, we saw the ticket sales, we saw the Tom Schwartz ticket sale, 5,000 tickets, 5,000, bro.
Motherfucking Jose Ramirez sold more tickets than that.
Yeah.
South California, he sold 14,000 tickets in South California. So stop with the A-sides. Like, yeah, he did. Like, all right, bro. Because the Saudis were bidding on Tyson Fury fights before AJ got involved? No.
The man, and here's the thing, yeah, they forget that the what do you want to call it? That the Saudis are only interested in a fight with AJ's name on it. Like, have you seen? You see how much success fucking your Uncle Bubs had trying to make a fight in Saudi with with this thing. If they were interested in this man himself without this thing, yeah, he would have been out there fighting. They're only interested in certain names.
Yeah.
Pacquiao, Anthony Joshua, and this thing. And that's why this man is out here. That's why Canelo's fucking with with Matchroom. And people don't really understand. Like, they're like, oh, Canelo doesn't have a promoter. I said, listen, yeah, Canelo doesn't have a promoter, right? The same way the PBC fighters don't have a promoter. Right now, Matchroom is the PBC for Canelo.
Yeah.
That's all right. Like, if you compare Spence and Garcia has fought his whole career in America. He fought Morales. He knocked off Lucas Matisse when Matisse was smoking hot. He's fought Sean. He's fought Keith. He's fought everyone. And that on 300,000. Callum Smith couldn't even sell out his local pub. And Canelo sold out 300,000.
Oh, shit. But I personally think that A-sides and B-sides don't come into it until you can broach 400,000 to 500,000 pay-per-view buys with a no-name.
Yeah.
With a no-name.
I think that's a low fresh. I'd say probably you've got to at least be going to 7 to 8 to be an A-side fighter.
Well, I say, you know why I say 4? Because of the Canelo fights. You know, the Liam Smith fight, the Lara fight, those were guys who were not marquee fighters, but Canelo Alvarez still broached. Even if he wasn't really all that close, he still broached close to 400,000 pay-per-view buys with a guy that is not known. All right.
Yeah,
so when you put him in it, look at what he did with Chavez. That's insane, bro. That you could do that with Chavez? That's insane, bro.
Yeah. I agree with that. No, we got to go 5. We got to at least be 5, Ring. We got to be 5. If Spence can do 5, then he can say it's A-side over Crawford.
Let's put it this way, Beats. If he's ever, because he hasn't been in one, if he's ever in a fight that at least does 5, okay, maybe. But he hasn't done that. His numbers have gone down. All right. I didn't forget. The Mikey Garcia was 360. That was the number. After that, he did the Porter fight. And I remember in the article with Bill Wenger, the Fox executive, the number that they gave was 277,000. Not that shit that Mike Copinger tweeted on Monday, the Monday after the fight.
Fucking dickhead.
277,000. Fast forward to Danny Garcia, he did less with Danny than he did with Sean. So you clearly ain't no motherfucking A-side of nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, Coppinger's a bit of a dickhead, fam. Because
he's lost credibility now.
Because it's not just now. Like, I started paying attention to like the number of contradicting things that have been basically from him. So I'm like, you know what? If you're just announcing shit that's I think he's just a propaganda vessel. Like, these so-called sources don't exist because man contradicts himself more than, was it Forbes? There's another outfit that like would announce some numbers and then at the end of the year, and I'm like, yo, these don't jive with what you said earlier.
Yeah. Well, look, the shit he said about Maurice don't jive with the shit that's being said about Maurice. You said he signed a multi-fight deal. That's what you said about 5 months ago. And where is he now? He's a Golden Boy now. He's gonna fight on Golden. All right, Mike. And I'm not trying to knock him, but am I wrong? You said he signed a multi-fight deal not that long ago. You said that he was gonna be fighting Josecito Lopez. He didn't fight Josecito Lopez. Josecito did fight though, but he didn't fight Maurice. So I mean, really. Now, in the spirit of fairness and objectivity, it could be that the situation changed. It did. It's just that a lot of shit Mike says is like, it's kind of weird. Like, bro, You're the only pundit that I've ever seen report pay-per-view numbers the Monday after a fight. I've never seen nobody. Just Mike's the only guy I've ever seen do that.
And you know what's funny? It's that, like, I don't know why no one's ever pointed out that it's actually impossible to count the numbers that quickly. Like, it's actually impossible because now I used to work in broadcast, now whatever. Those numbers can't be reported. The earliest you could get the numbers reported, yeah, is Wednesday, because every local area this thing has got to report back to the national, and then you got to tally it down. So,
bro, you just made my argument. The only way you could count the buys by Monday is if it didn't sell shit, and then what you do is round up. So if it did 200, let's say it did close to 3. Like, we know it did 2, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna say it did close to 3. That you just like I can see it now, dog.
See, and you know what he tried? A copy just said that the Pulev numbers were about 600. Well, I've got Sky is saying it's 900, 930,000.
That's a dickhead, fam.
I'm not telling you that the UK boxing scene is head and shoulders above the American one in terms of infrastructure, but I believe them because they have more transparency over there in the United States.
I'm not saying Chisora and Usyk done more pay-per-view than AJ. It did.
There's more. I think that I was told there's actually a website that you can go to over there that will show you a particular company's economic standing. I was told. I don't know
the company's house.
Yeah, there you go. We don't have that in America, bro. Like, no, we don't have. I don't have a thing I could go to see, you know, what Frank Warren is somebody. I don't got some shit like that. So I mean, there's more transparency over there. I'm gonna believe Sky Sports about Sky Sports numbers before I believe Mike Kopinger, who's too goddamn close to the PBC.
Damn, Usyk and Chisora did a million and what? 1,059,000 pay-per-view buys. If that's correct.
It's wild. It's just wild out here, man. But ultimately, Errol Spence Jr., like, you don't need to be having an A-side come. Like, you don't need to have that conversation. You're not there yet. You're not there yet. You don't need to be talking about A-side and B-side. You need to just fight his ass. And the reason I believe that we're even having, or the reason that they highlight that is because they want to retire early. He don't want to be here. Like, he don't want to. He's not. I don't think he's gonna go to 160. I should say. Let me rephrase. I don't think he's gonna be around that long. Doesn't sound like.
He's not. I've already. You know, I mean, there's slippage from the accident that everyone's overlooking because he looked half decent. So he's not going to be around for that much longer.
Hey, listen, man. That fight was about 7-5, 8-4. I'm telling you, the Garcia fight. Watch it again.
There's slippage. There's slippage there. There's slippage there.
I'm supposed to look at it as ring rust, you know, because I don't know if it's slippage unless you've been fighting consistently and I see deterioration. You know what I mean?
Not that good no more, man. You know, he's peaked the plowed a long time. You can see that in the Mikey fight before the accident. Everyone's not that good, man.
So I mean, I've been saying that he's not what people think he is. He's good. He is good. I mean, I don't want to I'm not trying to say he's a good fighter. That's why I want to see him fight Crawford because he's.
I don't want to see it no more, man. I don't know. After see him labor against Garcia, you know. Oh, what? He wasn't that good. He was okay.
No, you know what? I go stand with Beats on that, and I'm like, listen, I've been over the welterweight, as Julius likes to call them. Yeah, I've been over the welterweight division. I'm more interested in the new crop of these lads coming up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just ready to see these men toss the belt in the air or get beat or something. Yeah, let the belts go over somewhere else. Yeah. And let's see these new kids, yeah, they're hungry. You know what I mean? Like, these new kids are hungry. And if the PBC was really about a thing, they would feed one of these lads, they'd feed him to Jaron Ennis. Like, just feed him to Jerron Ennis and start building him now.
Oh, bro, they don't know. I'm telling, like, they had, like, look, and I'm not high on Jared. I'm not high on Jared Ennis. Like, I'm not high on him the way I'm high on Virgil. But if they had half a brain cell at the PBC, give Jerron Ennis Sergey Lipinets. Start building him. They haven't, like, hold on, I'm going to pass it to you, Beats.
Yeah.
My point is, they have a blue chip prospect, and they literally don't know what to do with him. They don't. You have the guys to feed him. Feed him Lopez. Feed him Lipinets. Feed him Thurman. No, you still got him over there fighting. I don't even know. Go ahead, Beats.
If Ennis and Ortiz were British, that would have to be in the ring, bro. We'd have to they'd be it might not happen, but they'd be under pressure to make that. Even if one was Frank Warren and one was Eddie, they'd be under pressure to make whether they got titles or not. You know,
It's
under pressure to make that.
For me, it's like, and once again, I'm not trying to like downplay or shit on him. You understand? He is a good fighter. At least he looks like a good fighter. It's just that Virgil's a younger guy, I think, than Jared. Virgil Ortiz is a younger guy than him. And look at the guys that Virgil's fought. Brad Solomon, Javier Orozco, Mauricio Herrera, Samuel Vargas. You know what I mean? Like these is really good guys for him to be fighting at what, 23? And he's only and he doesn't have 20 fights. These is great names on his resume. And I look at Jared, I'm like, all right, well, you over there with Sergey Lipinets, Josecito Lopez. I assume that there's still some kind of a relationship with Omar Figueroa, something. And who do they have him fighting? Like, who is he fighting? Like, bro.
Jerron, not Jared. Jerron. His mama named him Jerron. I'm gonna call him Jerron.
Look, but Jerron, like, who? And it's once again, it's not. That's my daughter over there arguing. Y'all need to be quiet for y'all both get spanked. Who do they have him fighting? Nobody. And it's not that they don't have guys for him to fight. What is stopping Keith Thurman from fighting some of these people? We should have got Thurman versus Ugas by now. At least by now.
I mean,
but we know.
Most of them. I mean, who did Porter fight? The guy who Conor Ben fought?
Yeah, well, Conor fought the guy that Sean fought.
Yeah. I mean, damn, PBC.
And no, but you know what he's talking about now? He's talking about sitting out 2021. Like that he won't fight. That if things with Crawford don't work out, right? If they don't work out, which I don't think they're gonna work out. I hope they do, but it's boxing. And he doesn't get a Thurman fight. He said he's willing to sit out 2021. And that tell me that you don't want that Crawford fight. You don't want that fight. You don't talk like that when you want
the
that
American fight is like, because I've got an article. Ryan Garcia said he's going to retire in 4 years. He hasn't even won a title yet.
He's going
Yo, listen. You see these men, like, fam, I think I think what do you call it? The whole belt thing is a mess. Like, everything's just fucked right now. You know what? I'm one for just like tradition and things meaning things, but the way the WBCs move, fam, I'm just like, yo, let's toss them out, yeah. Cause let's just toss them out and let's call it. Like I said something taking the piss just to get onto people's skin on Twitter, but in all honesty, a lot of truth is said in jest. Where if you lot want to consider, listen, like I didn't create the English language. No, I know most Americans don't speak it, but undisputed means lack of dispute. All right, undisputed means lack of dispute. If we're having massive disputes about a guy being undisputed, you know what that means? He's not undisputed. There is a dispute.
I'm not even gonna get into that.
So no. But I'm like, if we're gonna redefine it, yeah. So why don't we just toss the WBC shit in the trash? And I'm happy calling Big Femi the undisputed heavyweight champ.
I don't even want to get, because the thing with Lopez is it's not about Lopez to me. It's about the WBC. It's not about Lopez.
Yeah, that's my point. I'm talking about the WBC.
No. It's because I'm talking about me and Punch. We had a debate on Twitter about this, And look, Punch likes Lopez. That's cool. You can like him. It's not about, but for me, it's not about Lopez. It like I gave an example that if Teofimo Lopez leaves 135 right now, hypothetically, right, the only version of the title that's going to get left behind isn't his. It's going to be Devin Haney's. That's going to be the version of the title that gets fought for. So that has to matter. You know, I'm not going to endorse the WBC BS just because I like, you know, Teofimo or something like that. Like, I understand what he did was great, but this is the truth. If he goes to 140 right now, whatever happens, the version of the title that stays behind is the one that Devin has, not the one that Teofimo has, because the one that Devin has is the real one. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
That's exactly, and it's really the WBC that's not fully destroyed everything that we've come to. I mean, it's complicated enough just tracking the regular belts. You get me? It's complicated enough with the WBA. Now you lot come in and like, what we gonna do? Just move the goalposts every time. Move the goalposts. Like, fam, it's just like, I'm over it. And it's not the thing is, yeah, Punch is not really a pragmatic individual, yeah. And all right, Julie, so you know me, so you know my 6 degrees of separation from Tio. So anything I say has got nothing to do with Tio. Tio did what he had to do. It's unfortunate that because of the shenanigans of a sanctioning body, he can't really be given, you know what I mean, the title. Yeah.
He can't, and it's not because I don't want, like, it's not that I don't want to give it to him. It's just the truth. If the dude says tomorrow, I'm moving up to 140, guess who belt people are going to be fighting for? Not his, not yours, not when we talking about the WBC, because yours supposedly goes with you wherever you go. Whereas the 135-pound title, WBC's lightweight title, you are not in possession of it. He is. And I'm not going to bash him because this isn't what, like, all of this was created by the WBC. And I'm not going to endorse their bullshit just because I like Teofimo. I ain't going to do it. They fucked up.
and that's what it is. I feel like a lot of people don't have I mean, I don't know. This is why I can only really entertain you and Beats for the most part, because you got to be able to take the emotions out and be pragmatic about it. You get me?
At the same time, though, that belt is depleted now, though, isn't it? Really? Like,
yeah, that's what we're saying.
But whose fault is it? The WBC made their own belt not mean shit, basically. Because look, Ryan has a title shot that he ain't even gonna take. So your belt don't mean shit. Like,
yo, you know what? You know what I was thinking? I said, why do they say WBC orders? Why don't we just start saying the WBC is going to suggest? Because when's the last time they ordered a fight and it happened?
Yeah,
no, fam. I don't know. I think it's been about 2 years since they ordered a fight that actually happened. I think it's just like we should just say the WBC suggests you fight this guy.
Bro, they tried to. Did you forget? It was like 2017, 2018. They ordered this whole catalog of fights, and 90% of that shit didn't happen. They ordered Mikey Garcia versus They ordered Mikey Garcia versus Linares. They ordered motherfucking Gary Russell versus Leo Sanders. I'm like, what the fuck? And most of that shit didn't happen. I'm like, what makes you think that you can force Leo, the WBA champion, to fight Gary? Are you guys idiots over there? Like, you're not going to listen to y'all. Motherfucking Mikey didn't listen to y'all, and y'all didn't strip him.
And when they told Tyson Fury to fight the Eliminator against Dillian for the belt.
Exactly.
Tyson was bitch slapped Jose and said, nah, what do you mean? We ain't doing shit. Okay, we'll just let you be mandatory then. It's ridiculous.
It's stupid. He should have the consequence that should come with non-compliance is, guess what we about to do? We're gonna remove you from our ranks. If you're not gonna listen to us, then you don't need to be there. You're not gonna listen to us. We're not gonna keep ranking you so you could do what the fuck you want, and you didn't listen to us. We ordered you to fight Dillian White.
Yeah,
that's what we ordered you to, and you told us, no, fuck that. I don't take orders. All right then, motherfucker. You don't take orders, right? You don't need to be ranked by us. But because WBC is greedy and they want those sanctioning fees, they'll keep them. They'll leave them on there. not listening to them and all of that.
Yeah, but we know they ain't got a spine. They will bend over if Bob Arum screams at them. If Canelo screams at them, they'll bend over. Like anyone with any kind of pull, they'll just bend over. There's no spine there. No, they got no spine.
Because they just want the sanctioning fees, bro. That's what They just want the sanctioning fees, which is why I propose, and I think it boils down to the fighters that if you a fighter and you don't want them playing with your career, because that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna play with your career. That is what they're gonna do. Don't go that route. If you can have a unification match after you get a belt with someone else, then you go that route. But as far as climbing up their rank standings, don't do it because they're gonna play with you. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, like if man was a pro, I'd go the IBF route because at least they'll make it to number one. I know they'll order the fight.
Yeah, even right now, the WBO used to be, I'll say 5 years ago, the WBO used to be one of the worst, one of them. The WBO these days is a straight shooter compared to motherfucking the WBA and the WBC. Even the WBO is a straight shooter now. Like when it's time, they order a fight. That Adam Catterall situation, that had to be, Jack Catterall, that had to be ironed out. Why? Because he's the mandatory, bro. There needs to be reconciliation. The Usyk situation, there needs to be reconciliation. Why? Because he got to that point to where he's a mandatory. Everybody ain't got to like it, but it ain't the first time that happened. Whereas with the WBA and the WBC, the rules change every week. Every week, it's a different set of rules.
No, fam. These lot are taking it. It's bad. You know what's crazy? Yeah, it's sad enough that we've got to deal with. You know what I mean? The promoters and promotional outfit nonsense. Then we got sanctioning bodies just taking the piss, taking the absolute piss constantly. It's tough being a boxing fan. You know what I mean? The only thing I can say, at least working in boxing pays well on the broadcaster end.
I'm going to tell you what. At least covering the stories pays well because it actually does. I ain't going to say a lot, but it's good. It is good. It is good. And every so often we get a great fucking fight. Because for what it's worth, Joyce versus Dubois, even though fuck you, Ismail Salas, and the Cubans shit. Fuck you, Pete. Fuck you.
No, man.
It was a great fight. It was a great fucking fight.
Hey, listen. Yeah, I let you live on Ioka though. You know what I mean? I gave you a pass on Ioka.
I don't know if Daniel can come back from it. I don't know.
That's another thing, and I think that Daniel coming back, if he's gonna have success, a lot of things got to change, like major things. They have to change. He can come back. That doesn't have to be the end of the world. He can come back. But
dude, he got nerve damage to the eye, bro. Nerve damage in the eye is serious. You go back in that ring, you could come out blind.
Unless from this moment on, something major, it's true. Like this could be career ending. It's possible. Yeah. It's because it's bad. It's nerve damage, bro. So something major has to change. You might need to go to Sugar Hill or something. All right?
No, not Sugar Hill. He needs someone to teach him how to be defensive. Because fam, the lack of head movement and like just the lack of just catch the jab on a glove or something. Put your hand up there.
Lennox, I was like, when I was watching the fight, I was absolutely, even though I tipped Dubois, Joyce to win. When I saw Daniel didn't know how to avoid a jab, I was alarmed. He couldn't stop the jab getting through. I was alarmed. I was like, whoa.
What about Anthony Yard? What about Anthony
Yard? Nah, Yard.
He ate that shit, bro. He literally ate that shit all night.
Yeah. And listen, but the thing is, at least this Arthur was throwing some variation on the jab for against Yard, and Yard was attempting. He just didn't know. Like it's one of them ones there where it's like in his brain, he knows what he's supposed to do, but he's never practiced it. He's never had to do it, even in sparring, so he can't execute. Like his brain's going, he's hitting you with the jab, move your head, but muscle memory is not there. The things you have to rely on aren't there. So yeah, that was the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
So that was the thing. Like he's just
like,
never
listen,
really.
Daniel has got so much levels to conquer to become even a. See, when they were all saying, "Oh, Daniel, we prefer Daniel over Josh. This is our new guy." I said, "You guys really don't get it, do you? You really don't get it." Like, listen, man.
Nah,
Joshua
fam, they get gassed up. Go
Joshua
ahead,
right
Beats.
now with that movement and that pull count on Daniel, it'll be frightening for him, man. It'll be absolutely frightening.
You leave Daniel alone, goddamn.
Nah. Listen, he's got to. No. He needs to go back to school and pick up a lot of things.
No, you
And
know what it is. You know what it is. Yeah, he took Daniel should be turning pro now. They pulled him out of the amateurs too quick.
Yeah, he hasn't seen the looks. He hadn't seen the looks or had the experience, and it didn't do him any favors that they tossed him in there with people that he was just running through, because it built a false confidence. Like now you're up against someone who's standing up to you. You get me? Like he had look.
AJ turned pro about Daniel's age now. That's I was like age 23, 24 when he won the Olympics.
You know what it is though? They were, you know what I mean, as you know, Queensberry was potentially, well, they're not as bad as Golden Boy, but they're in a situation where they needed someone to carry it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're not in a bad situation, but what I'm saying is that if that's why Golden Boy is going to do everything to protect Garcia, because they only really have him. You know what I mean? They haven't even done the work on other ones like Virgil Ortiz and them man to have 1, 2, 3 options. You see the difference, yeah. When everyone thought Matchroom was gonna end because AJ took an L, there were loads of other fighters on Matchroom. Matchroom's got a roster, and Eddie has proven he can build.
Fighters, like even
He
if
can build.
they got plenty of other fucking fighters. The dude's doing shows. Look, there's only one promoter, and I'm not, and it's just the truth. All right, it's just the fucking truth. There's only one promoter doing shows in different countries around the world. Only one that's doing different shows under the same banner in different countries around the world. That's Matchroom. That's Matchroom, bro. Top Rank ain't doing shit in Italy. PBC ain't doing shit in Italy and Monaco, Monte Cristo, and all of that shit. They ain't.
PBC done one show in London in 2019. And remember, they were saying, "Oh, we're going to take over Britain, take over
well, so here's the thing, yeah. What people don't understand is that I think a lot of these promoters are going to run into problems because boxing is always been a global sport, but the money is now a lot more global. With the Middle East and Singapore getting involved, it's a lot more global. And if you never been out the country, yeah, you've never done business globally, you're going to be in quite a fix because you know what I mean. Like there's a limit to the.
You need liaisons. Like Bobby's lucky. Well, not lucky. Bob is smart. I've always thought he was smart in a way. He's got Frank as his liaison to the UK boxing scene. You know, and he does, for what it's worth, his relationship with Eddie ain't great, but it ain't that bad. It ain't that.
You don't give a shit about the UK scene. You don't give a shit.
But they also have ties to MTK. My buddy Daniel Kinahan, that guy.
MTK do put shows on ESPN. They actually put shows on ESPN.
And they're global. It's in the name. MTK Global. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that global means you got to have global, and it's like as things are going now, you got so much more action globally. And I'm not when I say global, I don't mean US and UK, and I mean like Middle East. I mean South America.
MTK,
I mean
MTK. This is how you know MTK is doing all right. They signed this South African female boxer, right? And she's not from the lighter weights, you know, not the divisions that you could actually start making money in. I think she's a light heavyweight or something like that. And that's how you know they got money. That's how you know they do it. Because what you signed her? Wow. I could go on about how many fighters they sign. I'm like, yo, they gotta be doing good. They gotta be laundering that money. That's another time.
Yeah, but we're not going to get into that.
But we're
You
not,
know?
They
we're not
manage
gonna
a few
talk
Golden
about
Boy
that.
fighters as well. They manage a few Golden Boy fighters, don't they? As well.
Yep, they got fucking JoJo Diaz. They got Jamel Herring.
Yeah.
Jamel
Yeah.
Herring.
Yeah, once they cross over into the US, yeah, I noticed a lot of fighters from Golden Boy and Top Rank started seeking them for management and advisement. So I'm like, things about to get a bit hairy for those promotional outfits, especially all the Golden Boy men them started moving to sign with MTK right after the Canelo situation.
Well, I want MTK to sign me. They could use me.
No, it's mad though. But let's see what happens in 2021 because it's gonna be an interesting one because there's just a lot of things. There's a lot of things that go on that I would rather see the fights because I'm just tired of the boxing marketing because there's just a lot of marketing going on just all across the board. Like, you know what I mean? Even like Tyson Fury's getting on man's last fucking nerve. Fam, shut the fuck up. This man's been calling you out for years. You swerved him on your comeback. Stop acting like the man doesn't want to fight. You're the only fight this man's wanted for years. All the fans know it. Just sign it.
Look, boxing is like, I'm going to say the last 5 years were a transitional period, which is why we saw a lot of what we saw. But the sport is in good hands because the young guys like Teofimo and Shakur, they know, yo, you got to fight, bro. You got to fight to get at all that different shit. You got to fight. And all this shit that we've been seeing from the PBC side of things, like the business would die. The sport of boxing would die under their watch. But thankfully, it's other fighters out there that they know better. Like yo, dog, that shit ain't gonna work, man. That shit ain't gonna work. You gotta fight, bro. You gotta have them fights. You gotta take them. If he wouldn't have think about it, would we be talking about Teofimo right now if he decided, oh, I don't like that money, Top Rank, fuck that, and then don't fight? But because he fought, because he went in there with low man, he bit the bullet. Yo, he's in a great position right now. Great position. Imagine if Ryan, he don't fight Luke. Like, fuck that shit. I ain't fighting Luke. We wouldn't be talking about him right now. We at all. Like, but because he did what he had to do, we talking about him. Yep. It's in a good position, man. It's in a good position.
135, man. It looks good, but you know, man, the politics look like it's gonna mess it all up, though.
No, I see where Beats is coming from, but let's see. You know what I mean? But I think that at the end of the day, these men know that they got to fight. And what's good for me is that they're all on the sides, and I hate the term side of the street, yeah, but they're all on the ends where them can work together. You know what I mean? We got Matchroom, Golden Boy, and Top Rank. It's not like these lot can't do business.
I mean, they can. It's just that they don't want to. See, I propose, and I still think it'll work, a bartering process. A bartering process where promoters that have fighters that are campaigning in the same weight, or maybe it should just be all the major U.S. promoters, sit down with each other, talk about what fights you guys can make amongst yourselves, and have a trade-off that we'll give you this if you give us that, and then we'll give them this, and they'll give us that. And it's better for the sport if you do it that way, because operating independently of each other, you can't do that right now. You you can't. You got to start making fights. You can't do that right now. Right now.
Man, 135 look like, I'm not saying forever, but it looks like America's last chance is 135. If they don't get that right, there's nothing there. I mean, they fucked up heavyweight already, turned down 120 for undisputed, messed that up. Welterweight plateauing right now. The Crawford Spence fight, which is as far away as it's ever been. If they mess 135 up,
I don't think they will. I don't think they will because 135 don't. I mean, like aside from Davis, which I don't even consider him a lightweight.
Yeah, like why is he even in the conversation? Man's had one fight at the weight.
I don't know.
I don't even understand that. I don't understand. Is this like because Ryan Garcia decided to do a bit of cloud chasing? So now it's
because they're young guys. It's because they're this is the difference between what's happening at lightweight and welterweight. The guys at welterweight, these guys in their 30s, these is grown-ups. These young guys can galvanize the boxing fans because they're young, because they have social media following, and because they look like the young guys. You understand what I mean? They look like young guys. It's
Yeah.
exciting because it's the young bloods. And Beats is right. Like I look at it like this, like, yeah, that's the last chance right there. If we don't get this right, the boxing scene here for the next couple of years, ooh, it's gonna be fucked up.
Because
Right?
they gonna wait for Big Pharmacy.
What they're not realizing, right? When you get certain gene pools, like, okay, let's start at heavyweight. You got AJ, Fury, and Wilder. That's a gold mine. That's supposed to be able to stay in America and the world. When you get Thurman, Porter, Crawford, Spence, this guy, that guy, that's supposed to sustain American boxing worldwide and all of that shit there. It's hard to get that chemistry like that. And when you get it, you've got to utilize it, man.
Well, that's
utilize it.
The difference between the boxing scene here and somewhere else is that we don't have a fucking music guy. You see, you guys don't have some music guy over there in the UK fucking everything up. You don't. You have two boxing guys. You got Eddie Hearn, you got Frank Warren, you got Mick Hennessy, and the smaller outfits. Those are boxing guys. We have a music guy with 2 network deals to major networks, and that's why everything is messed up. That's what's making it so retarded over here. They're like, yo, dog, like they gave this music guy 2 network deals. Got a Showtime deal, got a Fox deal. He's got a stable of fighters. He's pissing away. They're pissing away their best years, giving us these substitute fights because he don't know jack shit about boxing. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound presumptuous, but it's the truth. You have to make the fights because that's the business. You trying to make it like you trying to sell a brand. Bro, you make fights. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make fights. You don't want to make fights.
Yep.
You got fighters that's below. Why is it that you got a fighter that lost the title 2 times and he's not even 25 years old yet? He lost it because he was sniffing coke. Then the other time he lost it because he blew the weight. What the fuck are you doing to these guys, bro?
What about the Peter Quinn situation when he gave up the middleweight belt?
The WBO. Exactly. And what was he asking for the Golovkin fight? Bro, Golovkin ain't even making that kind of money. Are you out of your mind? You want helmet? What?
Yeah, ridiculous.
That's the major difference between the boxing scene here and the boxing scene there. You don't have a music guy trying to sell, because he's trying to sell a brand. You know, he's trying to sell the PBC brand. That's why it's categorized as a series, the PBC series. Have you ever seen this? It says the PBC series. Like series, like what are you selling? A TV show?
It's crazy, man. Crazy. You know, like I had one guy arguing with me on Twitter, like saying, "Oh, why are you getting so pissed? Al's running a business." I said, "You're calling him Al like you're your next door neighbor."
Oh shit! Oh shit! You know what's funny? You know what's funny? I'll tell you this offline. Like it's funny, yeah, because I've made more money off Al than any of these men. I've probably made more money off Al than some of his fighters, if I'm honest.
Man, you better shut up.
No, I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you offline.
Don't say nothing. Don't better shut up. Don't say nothing.
I mean, listen. Yeah, what
job is to make fights? That is your job. That's why Eddie Hearn. What you see Eddie Hearn be trying to do? He be trying to make the fight. Why? Because that's his job. It's his job to make fights. What Al trying to do with these guys?
Nah, but you know, these guys talking about Al's running a business. Like Eddie isn't running a business. Like Eddie's running an international business. You know how hard it is to run a business in one country, let alone multiple continents.
There was no pandemic right now. Eddie would have been stamping his bloody passport in New York, Las Vegas, Italy. You know, like I would have stayed in the crib all that time. So who's running the business?
Yeah.
Well, it's always that goofy at like it's a business. Man, you don't shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
It's a business. Yeah, shut up, man.
Yeah, I'm just on the television on teletext. Savannah Marshall called out Clarissa. She wants to fight Clarissa, man.
Savannah, man. Hey, man. as long as Clarissa want to keep playing around in that cage and not focusing up, she might lose that fight, man. You dividing your attention between two different disciplines. That means you're not giving either of them 100%. You're giving them both 50. That's what that means. I don't like it. I don't like it.
In my opinion, Savannah Marshall is the best fighter with the last name Fury.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't let that go over your head.
That ain't right. I tell you what, I'd rather watch. I ain't gonna do look because they cool, and I want to interview her. So I can't talk no shit. I just want to interview her. She's fucking amazing.
Listen, she's the only one with proper punch technique.
Hey man,
Nah. Hang on. Nah, but fam, listen. What I'm saying is Savannah actually closes her gloves and turns her fist over when she punches. And I'm not. And
Fury slender here, okay? I want to interview her. Okay, so stop.
I'm not. I'm bigging her up, fam. I'm not slandering Savannah. What you mean?
Nothing but nice things to say about Big John Fury, Tyson Fury, Huey Fury, and Peter Fury. Nice things to say. God, I love these guys. I wish.
And I still say Savannah's my favorite Fury.
She's my favorite Fury too, admittedly. But yeah, man. So the interview with Terry was fun, man. Steffi Bull's a fun guy, man. Fun guy, nice guy. Appreciate that from Steffi.
Yeah, so it's a madness though. But these lot, I just hope the man as no one's announced the slates for 2021. I guess we're still in limbo with everything. But like I'm looking for because no matter what anyone says, yeah, I think we got some good fights last year. I actually thought we got some excellent fights last year.
We
they
did. Yeah, look, Estrada and Quadras too was dope. Baranchik versus Zapata was dope. Even though my guy lost, Joyce Dubois was dope. White Povetkin was dope. Taylor Persoon 2 was dope. Jonas versus Harper was dope. McCaskill Breakers, and it's gonna be a rematch. Like it was good fights all year, man. For what it's worth, it was good. It was good fights.
I think the Japanese, what was it, Tanaka?
Oh yeah, that was a great fight. They got overlooked.
That's
good.
It was a bit one-sided.
Julius, yeah. Are you? Let me know when you're ready to have a bit of couch time over why you took that Dubois loss so hard.
Listen, man, if you don't shut the fuck up, it's 2021, dog.
No, fam, because I want to get to the bottom of it because you were all out of sorts. You were out of sorts.
My guy, Instagram Ryan, is gonna stop Luke. I said it. You can keep you stop him, right? I started the year off right. Next couple of years, I ain't missing none of them shits. I was playing around in 2020. I was distracted by COVID. I ain't gonna be distracted here.
Okay, all right. It's just listen. Yeah, it's on it. I just wanted to know, like, why you took that, man. You took that hard. Like, I had to give you some space.
Listen. All I said, and that was in reference to him making a decision that he didn't want to go on. And it's not about it being the right or wrong decision, you know, because I'm not the one getting hit. I always maintain that. I'm not the one getting hit, bro. I'm not in a position to tell somebody woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm not the one getting hit. I'm just saying that when he made the decision not to go on, the judges had him up. And we knew that Frank liked him. We knew that that's who Frank wanted to win. We know that. In hindsight, Frank didn't lose anything because, well, Joyce signed a multi-fight deal before the fight.
He did. He's lost because he invested a stack load of money into Dubois.
Yeah, but now he still has Joyce. See, we didn't know. I didn't know. I felt like, from this, what Joyce might do is go to Matchroom. That's what I thought right after the fight. That from this, he might go to Match. Because I mean, what the hell else is Frank gonna do?
Frank hadn't even signed up before the fight took place.
That's what I'm saying. But we didn't find out. We didn't find out that he signed that deal until after the fight. Yeah. I didn't know he signed some old long ass deal with Frank until the fight was over. So it's like, well, in hindsight, Frank didn't lose anything. Wow, Joyce gonna be there for the foreseeable future. He is. I don't know. I don't know what Frank can do for him because I'm like, bro, what
Well,
fight is Frank gonna get you?
it's also a bit odd because the way Frank, that was very unprofessional of him because the way man jumped out the window on Big Daniel and all that, it's like if I'm Joe, I gotta feel a sort of way now. Like, oh yeah, that's how you feel. Yeah, you had, that was a clear sign that the promoter doesn't believe in a fighter that he's promoting, which was, it was like, fam, like, it's a bit. It was a bit cringe if I'm honest. And like Frank's been doing it long enough where I didn't expect that from him. Like, would have rather see him do an editing and play the middle and that, but he was just that was just
Daniel. I mean, you know that he, regardless of having them both signed, right? You know that he viewed Daniel as a guy that he could maybe try to groom to be his Anthony Joshua. I think that's how he looked at Daniel. And we know that Daniel's a lot younger than Joe, so there's more upside, more years of promoting this fighter. With Joe, you got a guy who's 33, 34 years old. And even now, I wonder, what the fuck can Frank do for this guy, man? Like, who are you not? I mean, it's not easy to give him a Tyson Fury fight, right? So who are you going to have him fighting?
It's difficult way back now. It's difficult.
yeah. He's got to pitch him in there for big fights. You know what I mean? Like that's really the only choice he's got.
But at this stage in Joe's career, the time of Daniel Dubois is over. Now it's time for the Dillian Whites, the Povetkins, the Pulevs, the Takams, the Riva. Those are the kind of guys that he needs to be fighting now. Like now it's about getting in position to fight for a title. And Frank don't have those contracts. He don't have them.
A lot of them contracts rankle with Eddie. Them names you named there.
Well, I mean, the fact that he's not in love with Big Joe means that he might be willing to pitch Big Joe out there on other fighters' cards. But
Big Joe is all he has. You know, Tyson Fury has a tenuous relationship right now with Frank. But for all accounts, Tyson Fury is a U.S.-based top-ranked fighter.
Well, Tyson better make nice with Frank because Frank handled that wild boar situation for him.
Yeah, he did.
Frank said.
I think Tyson's contract's run out with Bob. I don't think he has a contract.
You don't think he has a contract with Bob?
I'm not sure. I'm sure I heard something about that. His contract situation. He doesn't have a contract.
It might have expired. It's been a lot of time has passed since he signed that deal. A lot of time. He signed that deal at the beginning of 2019, right? Yeah. That was at the beginning of 2019, right after the first fight. In I think it was February or March. So maybe it did expire. Maybe it did.
Man.
Yeah, it's tough, but we gotta see if Tyson's got any loyalty. Yeah, he's gonna have to, paper bag Frank for a bit longer because Frank sent the them over to the farmer and that, like and the BBOC because Frank handled the BBBOC for him. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like bro, as quickly as that situation arose, that's about as fast as it went away. All of a sudden, Martin Carefoot, he dropping the charges. He don't want to talk about it. No,
but it's not even. It's not even the Carefoot. It's not even the Carefoot. And Beats can fill you in. The way the situation was handled with the BBBOC, it was Frank because also, like we know Frank's because Frank is also the man that had the information about the alleged so-called adverse finding of what's his name of Dillian leaked. So Frank has got, and Frank's lads are always running over to the BBOC and sending someone over to inspect Matchroom fights because Matchroom's doing this and that. So Frank handled that situation for him between the BBOC.
He tried to get one of Eddie's fights messed up with the COVID. Someone's came into the camp and thing. And tried to get the fight messed up.
Yeah. So he's been, he's been. So yeah, he owes. I feel like I don't listen. Yeah, we all know Fury. I don't really think. I'm never gonna speak on he's a man who has not moved with integrity. So I can't really be like, oh, he's gonna do this for Frank because he owes Frank. I'm just saying that he should feel like he owes Frank because them situations could have been a bit messy. And like Frank has papered the situation up for him in the UK quite nicely.
I mean,
Ain't no friends in boxing, Lance.
Fury,
Huh?
Tyson Fury is gonna do what's right for Tyson Fury, bro.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Precisely, yeah, precisely. No. There's no debate on that, yeah, at all. You know what I mean? Like,
Look at how we did Wilder, bro. Look at how he did Wilder. Wilder really trying to guilt trip him. Like, I don't know. I'm very good at reading people, right? And I read all the stuff that Wilder put out when he can't, when he decided to come out of his hole in the ground. Like, I gave you a fight. I walked away from the AJ money for you. What you trying to guilt trip him into fighting you, bro?
Exactly.
You know what you know what that told me right there is that he's dealt with the reality that he's never going to see that AJ money again.
No,
ever.
he's never gonna see it. He's never gonna see it again. Never gonna see
If I'm AJ, if I'm Anthony Joshua, right? Like, let's just say he done fought Fury already. Matter of fact, I'd go out there and say this now. Yo, Wilder, check this shit out. If you don't fight Dillian White, you'll never get a shot at any belt I hold. You have to fight Dillian White. Remember? You know the shit you told White? I'm telling you that shit, right? And then after that, you got to fight Eddie Hearn.
Yo, so yeah, because that, you know what I mean, when you say about reading people, that whole thing where like, oh, it was like, and you know how I know he feels that, because when he mentioned that he walked away from more money to give him the opportunity, I'm like, you know what, that's regret, because that's regret deep down from the bottom of your soul. You regret that decision.
Of course it is. What kind of an admission, right, is it to tell someone I walked away from more money for less money? For like, what? Was y'all fucking? Like,
so many cringeworthy things about that entire situation, fam. There's so many of it.
But it is though, because it's like I think that he was so emotional about this shit that you didn't think about what you were saying. The last 3 years, you let the cat out of the bag. That there was more money on the table for you to fight Joshua, and you walked away from it to fight Fury.
And you can find the transcripts online where he says, "Oh, I'm getting more bread over here anyway." That's what he was saying.
Yeah. Like, really, like, oh, it's a trip.
Are you though? Because you and Fat Boy drive the same car.
Look, and I'm being honest. I think the most, and I don't even know that he's going to do it, because if I'm being honest, and I don't say it to take the piss, I'm not saying it for comedic value. I'm being 100% honest. Those guys over there don't have the business savvy to put the emphasis on the Ruiz fight that they need to. The Ruiz fight can save what remains of Wilder's career. It can save it. It literally can. If you go in there and you knock him out where Joshua didn't, that'll get you back in the conversation. Even if you're not fighting for a title for the next 12 months, which in all likelihood you won't, right? The next 12 months is all about Joshua Fury, Usyk. That's what it's about.
Ruiz don't knock him the spark out. It's not knocking the F out, though.
Well, yeah. See, you're making that based on the assumption that these men have faith in his ability, which is something that they prove that they do not have faith in his ability.
Of course. I mean, why do you think I said they're a bunch of bumbling idiots?
Like,
I'm not saying that just like just using words and shit. Like, they're morons over there, bro.
I want to see that fight because I want to see Wilder land that right hand, and if Andy goes out, fair play. We know Deontay can punch, but if Andy eats it and starts slipping the jab, I want to see that fight.
But that's what I'm saying. Look. The only engagement that you can make for Wilder in-house that has any kind of intrigue, right? If Fury got away from you, he got away from you. Fury wants to go for the Joshua fight, whatever reason. You got nothing else except the Andy Ruiz fight, and look at this shit. Andy hasn't fought since the fucking Anthony Joshua. He hasn't fought. No. What are you doing with your fighters? Like, what are you doing?
Well, you mean like Andy's spending money, bro. Andy's doing like A-side Madonna shit now. You know what I mean?
Like selling coke, he's fucking girls, he's buying chains, he's doing all that shit.
Yeah. Andy's doing nice, bro. Andy's doing nice.
They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing.
See, in America right now, I think there's a lot of fighters. If you put a 20 million person in their pocket, you ain't getting them back in the ring that easy, man.
Nah. It happened, bro. When Charles Martin got the money, remember what he was like after he got the money? remember what he was like after he got the money? And then Andy gets the money. Andy gets the bag. Andy stops training. Andy's getting fat. Andy's wearing shades and getting haircuts. And he's partying and drinking and shit. You can't give these guys money, man.
Yo, you know what? That's like the Dave Chappelle meme. They should have never given you money.
Man, like, you know, there's the money over there, bro. It's balling.
They gave a fraction. And this is why, like, yeah, motherfuckers gonna call it cringe, all right? Anthony Joshua been getting buku dollars, right? For a long time now, like for a while. Yeah. I say since the white fight, he been getting like real good money, right?
Yeah.
These guys get a fraction.
Dude,
kind of money that
500,000 on his debut. 500,000 on his debut.
All right? And they get a fraction of the money that he makes, and they don't have the discipline. They don't have to maintain your composure. He maintained his composure, getting the kind of money that make them fly off the handle. Like they get that kind of money, they fly off the handle, man. These guys treating their nose and smoking weed and making videos.
Yo, you know what? Let's put it this way, yeah. That man just donated a good chunk, if not all, of Wilder's last purse to the amateur system in the UK.
Yeah,
he just gave how many million in the midst of a pandemic on some lighting. So yeah, these men, they don't know, like, and the funny thing is they chat about money like they're really getting it, but when you see, it's like, nah, you lot aren't really on it, yeah, because if you were
the Olympics, yeah, Joshua was offered, and remember, there's no Olympic belt, no Olympic title or anything. 2 years before that, he was offered 50 grand to turn pro. That's quite a lot of bread. For someone around no medal, no fit, it's quite a lot of bread. He turned it down.
Yeah, and so let's put it in perspective. Yeah, it's quite a lot of bread for a lad who's in a Watford council estate.
Yeah, exactly.
And for
the fucking man of principle. He's got character.
Julius, for the Americans who don't understand, that's 50 grand for a kid in the projects.
Oh, I've been saying the whole time that, and it's just so ridiculous to see, like, is he mentally tough? Is he mentally weak? I'm like, yo, don't you see that Tyson Fury is talking the most shit right now? Anthony Joshua is not bothered. He's not bothered. Like, you talk your shit, bro. Talk your shit. I'm gonna knock you out, bro. Or I'm gonna try. Talk your shit. I ain't Wilder. I'm not Wilder, bro.
That's right.
Fucking shit. Like, all that shit work on Wilder because Wilder the one to drink his own Kool-Aid. You could take him out of his zone. That shit ain't gonna work on me.
Turn it into a Black History Month question. No, this is a proper fight. Ain't no stupidness, bro. We have a proper fight.
Competed at the highest levels as an amateur. Competing at the highest levels as a professional. Talk that Andy Ruiz shit, bro. You have to. I came back from that. That's not gonna bother me. I came back from that. You got to talk about that to convince yourself that I'm no good. You know,
yeah, you gonna sell it to yourself. And remember, I pointed this out, and this is like, I'm not sure how people miss this. This is my thing with Andy, because Andy Ruiz chatted all this shit online before the second fight. Oh, he's a robot. He can't box. I'm just gonna blah 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 blah. Right? You got in there, and he outboxed you. He did what you said he couldn't do. Like he outboxed you comprehensively, fam. I couldn't find a half a round to give you, and you hit him with your best shot, and he stuck it on you for 12 rounds. You and the other thing, you chat that shit online, but you never said that thing to man's face.
Yeah,
You never said.
2016. It's 10 World Championship fights for Joshua, lost 1.
But here's the thing: you can't question a man's heart because I saw this man go in there against my man Savon and put it on Savon. That was the only competitive fight he had in the Olympics. Like, and listen, if I say he won that, like, and you know, I love Savon. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. And the only reason he got the decision is that he kept coming forward. He kept putting the pressure on Savon.
Look, you know, I'm a big AJ fan. I think Savon won that, but that's the only fight AJ. AJ lost every fight. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
And comparatively, look at what Savon's done to a lot of other heavyweights.
I
Look
think
at
AJ lost that one. I do believe AJ lost that fight. You know what I mean?
That's a disputable one, but let's go with this. Yeah, look at what Savon did to motherfucking that's the Frenchman. Look at what he did to Yoka. Look at what he did. Look at what he did to Okoli. Look at this man's resume. Yeah. There's a few others on there. Those are the ones that come to mind first. He did that to a few Eastern European men. So Savon was no sweet mate.
Listen, I'm gonna say this much: what Tyson Fury wants to do with this AJ fight is turn it into a circus like the first Wilder fight, and it's not it's all business now, bro. It's business. This is business, bro. This is not Wilder, bro. This ain't. See, with Vlad, it could have been this way with Vlad, but Vlad and I stand by this. He reigned for so long. He forgot how to be hungry. I firmly like it wasn't that he got old. I don't believe that. No, it's not that he got old. He didn't get. I think he could come back now and beat most of these guys. I firmly believe that.
You know what? I think with Vlad, right? It was after the Pulev fight. Funnily enough, like he looked tremendous, and then in the Brad Jennings fight, it looked like he kind of lost his hunger or something.
Yeah, he ran like dude. Like think about it. The dude reigned as a champion, not unified per se, even though he was unified at the time, but he didn't reign for 9 years unified. He picked up the belts along the way. But better still, this is a guy who reigned as a champion for 9 motherfucking years, bro. Yeah, he gonna lose something. He gonna get complacent. It's gonna happen because that reign is unprecedented. Who do you see now reigning for 9 years? Hell, the only reason Gary reigned for 5 is because he don't fight. That's the only reason. Vlad was fighting guys like, yeah, you want to fight? Let's fight. I am Vlad. Let's fight. That's my fucking guy. Fuck Vlad, man. Fuck. Shout out to Vlad.
Man.
That's.
And Vlad is an old school motherfucker. Why he an old school motherfucker? Because he lost the belt, then he won it back. He lost the fight, he came back from it. That's how it was in the old school. You lose the shit, you lose the fight, and let's see if you come back.
Yeah, if AJ beats Fury, and like to me, if he beats Fury and even just has one more mandatory, that's 10 defenses. That puts him up there as a British heavyweight. Not in America maybe, but as a British heavyweight, that puts him way up there.
But you know what? Let's stop shitting on ourselves, because honestly, right? You can't even, you can't be like, oh, that puts him in. Fam, there's no American contenders in the top tier. Like, who's an American heavyweight in the top? Okay, all right, because I'm like, nah, we can't shit on the region that is ruling that weight division. You know what I mean? Like we can't really.
I'm talking about the current bunch of Americans. I'm talking historically.
Okay, all right. That makes that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
There's no one out there who can get near to his resume in America. No one.
Nah, never. I mean, like I'm resting my laurels on Jared Anderson, man. Because he shows promise, that kid. But aside from that, we ain't got the abundance of heavyweights that we used to have. We just don't. We don't. That's reality. The big men are playing football. That's what's going on.
Yeah, or basketball, isn't it? Is that basketball or NFL? Yeah.
That's what's going on. So, and it's gonna be that way, because of the money they stand to make. That's the reality of the shit. But to me, it's more like I've been seeing what Fury's doing. Like every time AJ say something, or every time there's just something going on with AJ, and I'm talking about the last couple of weeks. You'll see Fury do his Fury shtick, his Fury shit, and AJ's not biting. Like, bro, I don't gotta respond to your stupid shit. We gonna fight, right? So we gonna fight. We gonna respond to your stupid shit. I'll respond to you the night of the fight. You think I'm gonna just argue with you? I ain't gonna argue with
To
you.
be honest, Julian, yeah, it's more for his own sake. He does that more than to try and get. He's trying to build himself up more than scaring AJ. That's what Fury does, I guess. You know.
That's exactly what Beats. You took the words because I'm saying what I believe is like, yo, you trying to make yourself believe that shit. You really trying? Oh, he ain't no good. He doesn't like you psyching yourself up for the fight, and I don't think it's gonna work, but we'll see because I want to.
He said he's got the momentum going into the fight. AJ's won 10 world championships since 2016. Since 2016, Fury's had about 6 fights. And only 2 opponents have been worth anything, and that's Vlad and Wilder.
Yo, remember earlier, yeah. Remember,
he hasn't fought this year. He hasn't fought for over 10 months.
If they fight, if the fight is next, Fury will have been out of action a year.
Yep.
He will have been because February is next month. When did he beat Wilder? February 22nd. All right, so if the Fury and AJ fight gets made for May or June, you will have been out of action for 12 months, over 12 months. So I don't know what fucking momentum he talking about. AJ saw action at the end of last year.
Listen, remember I said earlier that man them watch boxing but don't watch boxing. And I told you lot this behind the scenes. No, I'm not going to say on live, but you saw AJ go in there and just practice on Pulev. Like, man was just playing. Like, let's be honest. He was just like, I learned this in camp. Let's see it. Let me try this. Let me try that. You know like people
trying to say now. Usic's trying to say he had COVID in preparation for the fight. That's what he's trying to say.
Yo, honestly, I know this is contrary to the popular belief where people think, let's just go for undisputed. Usic's manager's been chatting so much shit.
Pulev said he had COVID. Pulev.
Fam, you ducked the smoke for 3 years. Like, I'm not believing that. Like, you had this mandatory shot for 3 years. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. You had the mandatory shot for 3 years. Okay? Like, I'm not buying anything you say now. But like I was about to say, I'd be interested in seeing AJ go in there against Usyk. I would.
I'll take look, depending on what happens. I'll take Joshua versus Usyk. That's a good fight too. I'll take Joshua versus Fury. That's what I've been waiting for. It's all interchangeable to me at this point. But what
see, to me, right? I hope Fury fights next. But to me, if AJ is dusting off people like Usyk, former undisputed champion, and like piling up the defenses, to me, Fury's not as pivotal as people are saying. Really, he really ain't.
Not really. Like, look. Fury is here, and I'm not knocking him because I think Fury's a great boxer. But you got a lot of interludes in your album, bro. You got a Tom Schwartz interlude. You got a interlude. Francesco Pianetta. Like, bro, AJ can't fight them guys and not be under the. He cannot fight those kinds of people. But they let you fucking do it. They let you do it. That's why you here. That's why you here. I don't know, and I'm not joking, all right? I don't know that you can have a run like AJ consistently because you haven't. You see what I mean?
No, he's never done it. You haven't defended
you won belts, but you didn't defend them.
That's right.
Yeah, we still hasn't. You know what I mean? If we're being honest, man still hasn't defended a belt, That's a bit.
And we're supposed to act like that don't matter, like because he beat Wilder. Wilder can't box, all right?
Wilder does not hit that hard.
Don't tell Otto I said this. Don't tell Otto I said this. But like Otto has back foot game, right? Am I wrong? Or am I right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Does Wilder?
No.
So why is it that Fury could go in there with Wilder and beat his ass, but he couldn't do that to Otto?
Well, because Otto's got skills that Wilder doesn't have. He works something. He probably does road work for a start. You know
now, this is in other words, this is basic. Otto can box. Wilder cannot. Is Wilder a bigger puncher than Otto? Maybe. Because I'm still on the fence with Wilder's power. Still on the fence.
Otto used the center of gravity to fight Fury.
If you look at Otto's last fight, he was boxing, bro. He wasn't trying to mow the guy down. He was boxing. Wilder can't box. So if you can go in there with Wilder and do that to Wilder, it's why? Because Wilder can't box. And people are reading way too much into Fury beating his ass. Yeah. Fury beat his ass because he can't box. He couldn't beat Otto's ass because Otto can box. Yeah, it's not complicated.
Listen, man, Fury done excellent, yeah, but it's basically, you know, Wilder lacks so many tools. But in saying that, to beat him and to avoid the right hand, he done an excellent job with Sugar Hill. They're taking away whatever power he did. He bulked up, you know, took the fight to him, beat him to the jab, and he done what he had to do. I want to say that it's a great victory because of everything in lieu of it, everything in the prelude that, you know, you had to come back from obesity, you had to come back from substance abuse. That makes it a great victory that you fought your way to a world title. But as far as the specifics of what went into the fight, I cannot ignore that you were gifted against John McDermott, right? I can't ignore that. I cannot ignore that you were floored by Nevin Pajic, or that you were floored by Steve Cunningham, or that you were floored by Deontay Wilder. I'm not going to ignore that either. The same way I wouldn't ignore that Andy Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua. I don't ignore that. So why would I ignore all the Fury shit? Exactly.
You didn't beat John McDermott, bro. The papers, I read the papers from that fight. They called it a travesty in boxing.
Yeah, and honestly, you know what? The other thing is, what a lot of people are missing. The reason behind all this Glovegate shit is because there's been question marks before from that the second John McDermott fight. So these men, now, I'm not giving any credence to Glovegate. All I'm saying is the reason why someone would is because if you look at man's history, if you look at man's history and you go, all right, he had a glove situation in the second John McDermott fight, right? So now you could go, this is a trick that he might have used. You get me? You know what I mean?
I understand that we can jump. See, this is the thing. Forget about, because that's way too far back. And you know that the Americans weren't keeping up with Fury's career when he fucking fought John McDermott. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm probably thinking of that more from like a logical standpoint of me being like, yeah, I know this happened before. Even though, granted,
it's that other guy that was a sparring partner in Tyson Fury's camp ahead of the first Wilder fight. I forgot his name, the guy. I think he got beat by Daniel Martz.
Yeah. Let's not. I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't. We shouldn't even know. Let's just take the conversation back to actual fights. It's not worth discussing. Yeah. It's not. But on that, when you would point out all the question marks, let's be honest. You know, and with all the bias, I thought the Wilder fight should have been stopped. Would have been stopped anywhere else if there wasn't a Wilder fight looming.
Let me tell you one goddamn thing. Go to your DAZN subscription, right? This is what I want you and B to do. Go to your DAZN subscription. In the search bar, I want you to put in Demetrius Andrade versus Artur Akavov. This is a fight where Akavov is not bleeding, you understand? And he's not on Quiz Street. Like, he could have finished the fight. He's losing the fight wide. He was. But I've seen fights stopped for less than what was going on in Valeen versus Fury. I've seen fights stopped early. If that to Lennox's point, if the Wilder fight weren't looming, maybe they stopped that thing, bro. That's a nasty cut. That's a bad cut. And he's thumbing you. You know, I like that greasy shit. I like that. I like that shit.
He wasn't thumbing him. He was taking the Vaseline off the cut.
Hey, I like that. You ain't gotta, I like that shit. I like that greasy shit. Fight, bro. This is a fight. Ain't nobody in here to wars with you. I'm gonna do shit that's gonna hurt you. And I'm saying, dog, if that had been another situation, I have seen fights stopped for less than what I saw in Fury versus Valeen. And that's just a fact, bro. Andre versus Akavov is one of them. Like, bro, y'all ain't had to stop that fight. Just call it what it is. Y'all was bored. Demetrius, he's a little bit boring. And he's like, all right, dog, you won every round. Can we go home? Like, can we get the hell out of here now?
man.
Shit, man.
That's a good fight, man. Fury and Joshua. I mean, that's a good fight. That's a good fight right there. A good fight.
Yeah, nah, there was this man is sort of like a pop psychologist, and he said the same thing, or he was doing a body language reading, and I was just like, I've got Fury muted on all platforms, like I don't really care what man's got to say, but then I paid attention, and it's like what you lot was saying. I'm like, yo, I think man's trying to gas himself up. Like I
Yeah.
don't even think he really believes the shit he's saying.
No, I mean,
You know what I mean?
he wants what he wants, and I'd bet on this. What he wants is to make Joshua question himself. That's what he wants.
Yeah,
You understand? Like that's why you keep like so fucking what he lost to Ruiz, bro. Yeah, he lost and he came back.
A lot of the people who keep saying he's mentally weak, they want it to become a self-fulfilling prophecy as well.
Nah,
it may
but-
not believe it. Because listen, if he's so mentally weak, how did he win nearly every round against Ruiz and defend his belts again?
So yeah, and the other thing I noticed is man like Femi was back in getting the work in on January 1st. Man was in Finchley ABC January 1st.
It's simple shit. You cannot compete. And I go back to the Olympics. Forget the Ruiz shit, because the only reason he could come back from Ruiz is because of the kind of person that he was before he lost to Ruiz. You can't go to the Olympics and compete at that level and be mentally. I'm not. Is Roy Jones mentally weak? Is Andre Ward mentally weak? Is Clarissa Shields or Katie Taylor? Are they mentally weak? Look at these gold medalists. George, is he mentally weak? George Foreman, was he mentally weak? Muhammad Ali, when he lost to Joe Frazier, didn't he come back from that?
Yeah, and I mean, listen, if you want to use the Olympic thing, yeah, fam. Fury didn't go to the Olympics and swerved because of who? Because of Big David Price. So we want to talk about mental fortitude, fam. You spent mad time swerving Pricey.
Yeah,
from the Amis.
We're talking about a guy
for the European title. He ducked Pulev.
Look, we're talking about like when I hear that, and I try not to engage in these conversations because it's gonna sound like I'm just trying to defend AJ. No, dog, but Fury fans can't talk about anybody being mentally weak. You were the unified champion of the world, and because people were saying some not so nice things about you, you fell apart psychologically. You literally fell apart. So you're mentally weak, and you wrestle with it to this day. If we're gonna be honest, you're the mentally weak one, and that's why you try to project that on your opponents so that you can approach the fight with an edge, because you normally approach a fight questioning yourself. With Vlad, it was easy. Vlad is complacent. He grew complacent. With Wilder, it was a little trickier, but you had something on him. You did, and it's that, yo, dog, for all your shit about your big right hand, I got up. I got that to build off of. For all your fucking mystery and mystique about your fucking power, my fat ass got up. So you can't be all that. Because I got up. If you was all that, I wouldn't have been able to get up. With AJ, you don't have those advantages, bro. Not psychologically, anyway.
Yeah, I don't think the psychological games are going to do Fury any good.
He's got to get in there and fight. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
This ain't gonna come down to poker faces, bro. And I'm not saying that Fury's a bad fighter. If I thought that Fury was a bad fighter, why the fuck would I want to be? Why would I be excited to see the fight if I thought he was a bad fighter? I think he's a great fighter. But I noticed that, like, you always want to get in your opponent's heads. I understand why. It is intelligent to do so. But I don't see it working this time. And it's because this guy don't give a fuck about what you talking about, bro. Talk your shit. Sell the fight, man. Convince yourself. Convince your father. Talk your shit. That shit ain't gonna work on me, bro. We here to fight. AJ, Anthony motherfucking Femi, Joshua, it's not long game, right?
I like him. As for the momentum, like, see, you ain't fought for 10 months. You ain't fought for 10 months, man. 10 months. And your opponents outside that were unheralded since the other Wilder fight. You know what I mean?
Bro, so, I'm gonna say something that the Fury fans aren't gonna like, right? After Anthony Joshua comes back, right? He knocks out Pulev. Great knockout. Sensational right hand. Who's watching the TV so close? Like, you got to look at the shit that people do, bro, and they'll tell you everything you need to know. This guy was watching that fight closely to look for wrinkles. AJ does a post-fight interview minutes after the fight. Minutes. And because you didn't like how he talked about you, knee-jerk reaction. It's not that you don't think he wants to fight. I don't think you want to fight, bro.
I'm not convinced Fury wants to fight.
Or at least he's feeling, and that's bold, but it's kind of the feeling that I got when I saw that was like, a part of you knows that this is big, and it's okay to have cold feet. It's okay to be human. It's okay to be nervous, but you look nervous to me, bro, because you don't got to do all that. You don't have. I don't got to say shit. I'm gonna sit on this couch. I'm gonna scout you. I'm gonna sit on this couch and scout your ass because I'm gonna fuck you up. If I believe I'm gonna fuck you up, I'm gonna watch this motherfucker fuck you up. Nah, you got to take the social media. You got to tell people. You got to. He doesn't want to fight, man. Shut the fuck up, bro.
You're doing too much because you see a man that's taking it seriously. You saw how men like Joshua showed up to the Usyk fight. Like, yeah, fam, I'm here to take a good close look at this lad because I might have to spark him. You know what I mean? That's the honest thing. That's like how you honestly handle the situation. Like, yeah, I'm watching the fight because this is XYZ. So we know, fam, we know you were home watching it closely and you were like, yeah, and you get on and then boom, yeah. And AJ, he does one thing. Next thing you know, you're on Good Morning Britain. Yeah. Right? Yeah, but you don't want to be famous. You're just a fighting man. But you're on Good Morning Britain. Bro, you're doing more interviews.
The same guy, I don't want to be popular, who went on the streets in America. Have you ever heard of Deontay Wilder?
I love him for that, though. I love him for that.
I love him too.
He said, you know Deontay Wilder? Like, who? Deontay Wilder, heavyweight champion of the world. Like, yo, you don't need to do that, bro. Chill. They don't know him over here, man. I could have told you that. But when I seen how he reacted, right, after the Pulev fight, and the timing of the reaction, like, it's the timing that tells the story. It's like, yo, dog, you would just wait. You latched on to whatever you could latch on in that moment. Because at no point in time did he say he doesn't want to fight you. It's just that he's not emphasizing you. He's emphasizing the belt. He was always after the belt. When Wilder had the belt, he was after him. Now you have it, so he's after you. And what you want him to do is to make it about you when it's not even about you. It's about the belt. That's it. It's not about you. You want him to prop you up. And he's not doing that. So what you do right after? He don't want to fight me. No. It's that you're nervous. You're nervous.
You know what someone should do, yeah? Someone with a bit more time than me should do a compilation of all the times AJ's called out Fury after the fights. Even the time AJ FaceTimed him and said, when are we going to fight? Like, remember he called him out in was it Wembley, yeah? Tyson Fury, get fit, you fat fuck. Like, come on, fam. Really? This man said your name so many times. Someone's got to do like an edit compilation.
The British boxing community has seen the same call-outs that me and you have seen. And if you went as far as making a montage and gathered all because there's no shortage of them. There's no shortage of quotes. There's no shortage of audio and video of Joshua calling them out. They've seen all of that. Don't waste your time doing that because they're doing with themselves what Fury is doing with his. Like, you trying to convince yourself that AJ is scared of him. I'm American, bro. I'm not, like, it ain't like we talking about my fighter and your fighter. No, I'm American. And I'm telling you, I've been watching this whole shit play out. At no point in time have I ever seen anything about Anthony Joshua that reads scared of Tyson Fury. That dude is a professional, bro. He look at Fury the way he look at Wilder. This is my big moment. This is a big fight for me, and I have no shame in saying I'm getting ready for it. I'm not fucking perfect. When he was talking about having a fear of losing, a lot of people took that as a weakness. I didn't. Why? Because it takes strength to be honest. Mm-hmm. To be honest, you got to be strong. Like, yeah, dog, I'm not perfect. I want to lose. I worry about that. So I work towards not losing. That's basic shit. But if you got to lie to yourself, like, go ahead, Fury, keep lying to yourself. You're here because you have interludes, several, in your album. You got bro.
I like that. I like the analogy. Interlude.
He does have
But,
Sefer Safari. Why did you fight Sefer Safari? What
but
happened?
now, fam, they're not even good interludes because remember the Bad Boys days. You used to look forward to the Mad Rapper interludes. These not even good interludes.
If you're not gonna be honest about shit, like your dog, you fought Francesco Pianetta and Sefer Safari because you had a mental breakdown you had to come back from. But it's Anthony Joshua that's mentally weak. You had the mental breakdown, but he's the mentally. All right, bro. All right.
Nah, you know what's mad to me? It's like these dickhead man like Gareth Davids and all these men that's never laced up gloves or anything in their life, chatting about, oh, he should have finished, he should have done this. Like, yeah, you're a pussy hole. You never throw a punch in your whole life. Like,
if you want my purely anecdotal opinion, and I don't know if you're gonna agree with this, but this is purely anecdotal. I firmly believe in my foot that Anthony Joshua carried Pulev. Well, I'm working on it, bro. I could go in there.
Well, it's not, I told you that. No, but Julius, let's put it out up front. I told you that.
No, but
we had this conversation.
Looking at the fight, bro, it's like, dog, like if he could get on his front foot and get front foot heavy at any point, like, because he was never not beating Pulev. He was beating Pulev from the moment the fight started. He's beating this guy. And if he wants to put him away, I feel like, he probably could have put him away sooner. If he didn't, it's because he didn't want to. I need the rounds, bro. I need the rounds.
So
I'm not gonna do no.
We're gonna call it anecdotal because we can't put evidence in front of people and say these are facts, right? So we'll call it anecdotal. But I'm going to say that I know for a fact that he did. But we'll say for public viewing, we'll call it anecdote. We'll call it an anecdote.
I call it an anecdote. I call it an anecdote because I'm not a mind reader, and I didn't get a direct statement from Anthony Joshua saying, "Yeah, I felt like I could have knocked him out sooner. I just wanted to carry him a little bit because I need the rounds, and I've been working on some things, and I want to use those things. I want to, the performance to me looked like, well, I know that if I hit the gas and go back to what I used to do, I can get this guy out of here quick. But since I'm working on things, I'm gonna keep working on them. I'm not gonna cop out and go back to what I used to do. I'm gonna focus on working on my shit because I'm gonna need this shit for this Fury fight. To some degree, I'm gonna need this shit. I'm gonna need to be composed. I'm gonna need to mind my expenditure of energy. I'm gonna box. I'm gonna focus on my boxing, not just all I gotta do is hit him with the right hand and he gonna go out. That's all I gotta do.
Oi, listen, yeah, you know how man was carrying him because remember before he sparks him, he does the Cuban pump. He shows you the hand he's gonna throw. He shows you, if you watch the Amis, yeah, when you land
he lifts his hands up pretty high.
Yeah. When you point to the judges, you tell the judges like I just scored a point back in the 70s. He does that and he comes out and then boom. You don't do that unless you know that, yeah, all right, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He shows you. He's like, heck, Olympic pump, bam.
Even I thought that the fight was gonna end when Kubrat Pulev quite literally turned around and ran away. Bruh, you don't remember that? He almost had him out of there. Kubrat turns his back to him, ends up in the corner. Joshua comes over and smacks him like he ate some cookies he wasn't. It's the clip that I use in the intro. They're like, dude literally turned around, bro, and then started walking away. And the ref had to go over there. I'm like, dog.
Yeah, that was funny, man. That third round was funny, bro.
Yeah, the dude literally turned around, bro.
And then Femi let him back in because he could have sparked him, but so you knew he was like, all right, I know I can stop you. So now it's practice time.
Look, I love the fight. I think I have a high opinion of Tyson Fury. In spite, as far as his boxing, yeah, it's a great fight. That's why I want to see it. If Fury was shit, or if I thought Fury was shit, why the fuck would I be excited to see the fight? Nah, he's a great boxer. But I've kept up with Fury over the years. I know his career. These are tricks. This is sleight of hand. You psych yourself into these fights by doing this. Because look at what happened to you when you had to give Klitschko a rematch. You stopped believing in yourself even though you beat him. You stopped believing in yourself. Motherfuckers ain't do nothing to you. All they did was say some bad shit about you. And that's all it took?
Yeah, yo, fam. And we talk about mental stability. if man broke on that, like, and AJ would be in pieces now. All the shit people have been charged.
Wilder calling him a coward. The media over here, you got the LDBC shit. Oh, AJ ain't shit, bro. If he was like Fury was in 2015 and 2016, all worried about what bro, the dude would have been fell apart. The fact of the matter is, you fell apart. And it wasn't, they didn't do nothing to you, bro. Yeah, they took your belt. Boo fucking who? They took the IBF from fucking Jermaine Taylor. You know what I'm saying? It happens, bro. You literally fell apart. You got fat, sniffed coke, stopped boxing. You know,
but you know why he fell apart, though. You know why he fell apart.
Oh yeah, because the walls were closing in on him because of the war.
Right, exactly.
Because of the ball, like you knew the walls was closing in.
He should have stood firm, though. He should have stood his ground.
Shit, like you.
Nah, but
wait. If we gonna get into the pet sheet shit, the walls was closing in on Povetkin after the Osterin shit. Forget the Meldonium. They gave you a pass for the Meldonium, right? You're supposed to fight Bermain Stavern in a WBC final eliminator to get your shot at Wilder again. All right, you test positive for a drug that's been on the banned list longer than Meldonium. Did Povetkin mentally fall apart? No, he kept grinding. Because if you're gonna cheat, it's the right way to do the wrong thing. God damn it! Right way. Right? Fuck that shit. Peds for everybody.
It's the right way to do the wrong thing. That's a funny ass this thing.
The truth, he didn't fall apart. He kept at it, and he worked his way back to, like, for example, Jarrell Miller. I don't think he has the mental fortitude to make it to 2022 when the ban is going to be up. I don't think he has the mental fortitude to last that long. Now, Povetkin is a true professional ped cheat, all right? Because they kicked him out for a year. Like, you cannot be sanctioned by anybody. Everybody else out there, the IBF, the WBO, the WBA, and they followed the WBC's lead. Like, look, dog, you just tested positive again, so we're not going to rank you for a full 12 months. We're not going to rank you. Neither the WBA or the WBO or the IBF ranked him after that. He kept chipping away, kept using his peds. He believed in himself. He believed in his peds, and he knocked out Dillian White. So it's a human interest story. It's a movie of the week.
That's one mentally tough, very mentally tough, man. Very mentally tough. So,
I don't think that Jarrell Miller has, because that's the kind of situation that he's facing, that you don't get to come back if not that anybody's gonna fuck with you, because they probably won't. Like the promoters, even after the ban is up, the promoters probably don't want nothing to do with you, dog. You burnt bridges with Matchroom, you burnt bridges with Jay Prince and Top Rank. So even if the ban is lifted, they might not fuck with you. You might have to sign a darn thing.
Jay Prince's money back. I wonder if you pay Jay Prince's money back, man.
I mean, if he's still alive, then we know that he did. If he's still alive, then we know that he did.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Jay Prince is an upstanding Texas businessman.
Hey, I like the guy. I love the guy. I'd love to work for him. All right, him and Daniel. Better still, the ban for Jarrell is not going to be lifted till 2022, right? Do you have the mental fortitude to chip away in the gym, keep yourself fit and focus till 2022, 2021 just started, bro? And you're only really big baby because you eat too fucking much. I saw you in the kickboxing shit. He used to be a smaller guy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
You 300 and change because you don't have the discipline to put the cheeseburger down. You don't have to be that size. So Povetkin is a mentally strong dude. Even amongst ped users, there are mentally strong people.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, it's a different, you know what I mean? It's a different thing.
I don't like Dillian taking the rematch with him. I just don't like it.
I don't like it either, but I think that I maintain that even though Povetkin won the fight, he took a lot of hard shots in that fight, and he's not a young guy. I don't think he had COVID. If I'm being, I think you wanted more time. That's what I think, because he got dropped. How many times did he get dropped in that fight? How many jabs did he eat with his face in that fight?
Yeah, he was taking a pounding, man. But yeah, he did take a beating, and he's not young. So
no, he's not.
Took a lot out of him, even though he won it. Took a lot out of it.
They say that, oh, he had COVID. I'm like, of course he had COVID. If it were me, I'd have fucking COVID. So what?
Oh,
We gonna do this dance again? I don't want to do this dance again yet. Like, damn, can I enjoy my victory? Can I get COVID?
Yeah. Hopefully, get his breath back, man. Oh, wow. You know what I mean?
yeah. But all right, gents, I've delayed the gym for 2 hours to chat with you lot. So man's gonna peace out and go get a bit of work in on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll keep listening, but good chat. You know what I mean? It's nice getting on with just the two of you because we keep it civil, we keep it boxing.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna end this live, and I'm gonna maintain Beats, one of the best channels that's out there. Shout out to Beats. Subscribe to Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Perfection didn't have COVID, bro. He just wanted to take a holiday, and that's all it was.
Yeah.
Hey, can we get a shout out for Ishmael Salas?
Oh God. Shout out to Ismail Salah. Shout out to Joey Gamache. Shout out to Otto Valine. Shout out to everybody. Enjoy your
All right, cheers.